All right, we're back again. It's Saturday. This is episode 279. This is part two. Well, part one and part two. We did a live stream on YouTube on Tuesday night with Dave Murphy, allegedly Dave. Did a good couple of hours with Dave. Yeah, as you no doubt can hear, it's Dom and Chris from our bullshit platform. As I said, it's episode 279. I'll go through the format, although it does seem to confuse some people, even though I go through the format. But let's have another go. The format is simple. We release a minimum of 4 shows a month. Members get full podcast plus download. Non-members get part one plus download. In fact, no, they don't get download now because I've taken it off because I'm a tight bastard. All new shows, though, are released on Saturdays, always on our private bullshit platform at sheepfarm.co.uk. And we also put part one on Podomatic, so you can download it from Podomatic. So you don't need us to download that one. You go to Podomatic, and they distribute it out to Spotify, Amazon, Audible, and Apple. Subscribe to the website for all email notifications and new shows. And join Chris on Instagram. At bignostril.com.
I've hardly been on it lately. Some of the messages on there have been on 2 weeks. I haven't looked at them.
Right. Don't join Chris on Instagram.
No, I do look at them eventually. I've been busy. I feel like I've been busy lately. I don't know.
I actually think we can do the live streams that we do. I need to get your logins because we can actually stream them on Instagram as well.
Is it worth it? Fine. Does it matter?
No. Do you know what? I like that. I like that attitude. Yeah, I like that attitude. Yeah, I know. We're not chasing. I'm not chasing. We could actually stream it on Instagram if I could be asked. I should have that bit.
Yeah. I think it's streamed on enough places, isn't it?
Yeah.
With his lunatics.
In fact, in fairness, I don't even like using YouTube. I don't even know why we still use them.
Did we mention that last week that Mike Williams one's had 32,000 views on Rumble? Did we mention that? Yeah.
No, but it's not. Jane Asher ones have as well.
It's a bit weird.
It creeps me out, to be honest with you.
It's weird.
You
told me I had a look. Like, fucking hell. It's weird.
Yeah. I like talking to everybody. To be honest with you, we have on Dave. Dave was good. Dave was good this week. I'll pin that on this podcast. Yeah, Dave was good.
We had a marathon. Well, not a marathon. We had a few hours yesterday with Matt Sergio, which was good as well, wasn't it?
Yeah. We're going to finish that marathon off next Thursday night.
Next Thursday.
I did some rough editing for half an hour today, and it's probably about 2 hours we recorded yesterday with Matt. When I had the videos in, it'll probably increase. But, so I reckon that episode on its own will be 3 hours. When I finish editing it, I'll set my time with that one. This week, because we did the live show on Tuesday, I'm going to put a podcast I did on my own with Mark Develin at the beginning of this one. And so there won't be a members hour this week, I'm afraid. This is the full one, the live stream, and this one I did with Mark, and I'll just pin them all together, and you can have a listen to all of it if you want to.
Yeah,
that sounds about right. Because I recorded one yesterday as well. I've done like 6 hours worth of recordings this week. What did I say to you at the beginning of the year?
Well, I'm going to say that, but yeah.
What did I say?
I want to do less.
Yeah. I want to do. That must mean in my head, I want to do less. And a little, like an angry gorilla or something in my head goes, no, you're fucking not. And that makes me do more. I said
something along the lines, we'll see how that pans out, shall we?
And not only that, I can add into the mix. I'm doing my Feel Good Factor podcast as well.
Yeah.
I think I've done 8 of them so far in the last couple of months as well.
Not
Yeah.
I know we're only doing an intro, but I'm going to open this bottle of wine.
Yeah, you open a bottle of wine, lad. Met a couple of nice people today in the, I'll say hello to, at the clinic.
Right.
Get a lot of people in the clinic. I don't know who they think them. I go in and go, I don't like you're real, like you're some.
If they listen, it is a bit weird, I suppose, isn't it?
Yeah, well, it's weird, but like you say, it's weird for us that people actually listen to it.
Yeah,
listen to us.
Yeah. Oh, that's another thing
So-
as well. Last week, oh, go on, sorry, you carry on.
Yeah, the lady from Sutton Coldfield, I won't mention any names, and the lady from Barnsley who just came in last week, didn't know us, were introduced from a mate of ours called Paul, who comes to the live events. He's a chiropractor from Barnsley, fantastic sports therapist. You could do with Paul getting his elbow into your shoulder and stuff. And he mentioned our clinic to a lady who came over. Really open-minded lady, into all the 2020 nonsense and etc. And she works for a delivery company, and she was telling people on the doorstep about when she was delivering parcels in 2020. She had people actually. People were spraying the parcels with disinfectant.
Yeah, I mentioned I witnessed that in the kitchen. Fuck, you know, you have those little visions of memory. I remember looking at the veg delivery out in the middle of the car park.
Yeah,
thinking, fuck, I just want to get that in and start prepping it up. You know what I mean? No, it's going to stay out for an hour.
With all that green haze coming
Honestly,
off it.
I remember standing in the kitchen door staring at it thinking, what the fuck is going on here? This is insane.
Did all packets of chicken have masks on?
Yeah, just like fucking green steam coming off it.
Yeah, green steam.
Even the woman, who was a lovely woman actually, who worked there, she looked at me and told me to leave it outside, and I knew in her eye she was saying, "This is insane."
Yeah.
And I said, "This is insane."
It'd be like, you know,
and they were going around with that fucking temperature. You weren't seeing any of this, but they had a little temperature gun, and they were going around to your head. People's forehead. So don't put that near my fucking head.
I remember going to a restaurant in Harrogate, and they had a machine out there, right? And he was just going to put that on me. I said, "Yeah, putting that anywhere near me, mate." And he went, "Well, I've got to do because see." I said, "Why are you doing that?" What a magic conversation I had with this guy, can't you? Yeah. Young guy, just fresh out of college, front of the house on a restaurant, and I said, "It's insanity. You can't tell me that's not insanity. Were you doing that?"
I'll tell you the insane part of it, Fatty, right? They were doing that, going around all the staff taking the temperatures. What the fuck does that? Where did all those bits of paper go that they wrote it down on? You know what I mean? Did they have some fucking file where they filed all the
temperature file?
Just written down on fucking bits of paper, just vanished.
Yeah. Jimmy was X temperature. Sarah was hilarious. Blah blah temperature.
Oh, yeah, mine's up by 2 degrees. Can I go home? Well, not really, because we're going to be busy this afternoon.
Yeah. But if you do go home, we'll have to report you, and then all your family's got to stay at home as well. And people say to me, "Why did you write a book?"
It's funny. We were staying on Matt's thing
of that nonsense.
We were staying on Matt's thing, and I'll mention it here. I've been listening to some SRA survivors lately, as you do. You know, I mean, it's grim stuff and it's hard listening, but quite necessary to, you know. And again, I said this on Matt's thing, but when we did that thing with Matt, but when you listen to when you listen to people's testimony from different people, and you see the similarities and stuff. I laughed then. I wasn't laughing at the SRS if I was laughing, because I do the same by listening to Dogman and Bigfoot Encounters as well.
Yeah.
So I was laughing at myself. Yeah. But you know, they start repeating in the same scenarios. So it gives it some legitimacy, I suppose. But what they were saying, what I realised was, not that they were saying this about 2020, but it's the way that they train them and torture them is giving them good news, then bad news, then good news, then bad news, and you know, being a friend, then an enemy, then a friend, just for total confusion. Yeah. And what sprang to mind with me was those things they had on the TV around COVID with Boris and fucking numerous other pricks saying, you know, oh, basically you've done well. Oh no, it's going to get worse. Oh no, we've done well. It's going to get worse, which is just to puddle the mind, isn't it?
Yes,
and it's literally a technique that's used by.
You can see the same technique going on in Iran.
Yeah,
everything going brilliant.
Ain't
everything going brilliant, but it isn't, you know?
No, it's not anymore. Yeah, it is this week, it's today, it's tomorrow. Then you've got people looking at it every day. Imagine the energy just of...
Well, I mean, we were talking with Dave Murphy, and he was saying, if anybody listened to that, where he's had people ringing him up who were really falling off the edge, if you like. And I've got to say, I'm witnessing that with people as well.
Do you know though?
And it's not nice to see, Chris. It's not nice to see.
Well, it's not nice to feel like you are going over the edge or suffering from any form of anxiety. We've all suffered anxiety at some point. The way that I schooled myself through the 2020 nonsense, in a way, and with everything really, is, I mean, I know it sounds awful, and I'm not meaning to be negative, but you're going to be fucking. I'm 52. You know, we're only here for a short amount of time. You're going to spend it stressing about something that might happen. If something happens, then deal with it.
The downside is, though, once you get into that manic state, and that's what this UGMK Ultra operation is trying to get you into. They're constantly battering you, constantly. Yeah. And I'd say, I don't think I'm not the only one that says this, but I'd say that since around about 2004-5, when Facebook came into, I mean, it was getting bad when you were on some kind of chat on a internet or emails, yeah. But when Facebook came out, unfortunately, I wasn't really part of that. I wasn't interested. I was even though we're in telecoms.
I wasn't really. I've never been.
But when all that stuff came around, you know, that is when a lot of these problems started. As we know, we spoke about this, and many other people have. And the operation in 2020, they wouldn't have been able to get away with.
Well, you think it before Fatty, right? A fella in general, even though it was the same thing, he's still getting propagandized. He went to the shop and got a newspaper, read it, and got stressed out for a bit. Now, kids, everybody's got it in their hand 24/7 before they go to bed, when they wake up, and they just look at that same stuff. But it's worse because it's more visceral, isn't it? It's more.
Yeah.
It's more.
Well, I would say a guy got a
newspaper.
A guy got a paper, read it, went to pub, talked about it, went to work, talked about it. There was a way of getting rid of it, yeah.
Well, it wasn't following because it's following you now, isn't it? That's the difference.
Yeah, that's what I mean. And also,
you go for a kebab and it's in fucking kebab shop on a big flat screen.
But also that bloke or woman who were reading that magazine or newspaper was an adult.
Yeah,
these are 10-year-old.
You're right.
12-year-old.
16, 17-year-olds didn't buy newspapers, did they?
No,
they might read the parents.
Yeah.
Just leave through to look at boobs on page 3.
I never did that.
What a weird concept having.
I know, what a weird concept.
Boobs out.
Yeah. Wait, yeah. we're at war, and then page 3. Yeah, yeah. What a strange concept of.
Supposed to soften the blow of the shitty news, but you're right. But and then they get home and watch a bit of news at 6 o'clock for half an hour, and then it were over, wasn't it?
Maybe it's a way of saying you're reading this and you're. No, I'm not even going to say it. Never mind. Oh, crack on.
But that thing that they're on about stopping social media for under 16s. To be honest, I'm on side with that.
Yeah, but Chris, it's been done. That whole thing as here we go. We'll give you this. Now we're going to say we're going to take it away from you. Yeah. That causes a big argument. Why should you take our poison off us? Well, because it's not good for you, that poison. We care about you when we gave it you in the first place, you know. Yeah. Then they call them a nanny state, and really it is a nanny state, but you know,
having an 8-year-old though, it's part of the nanny state that I'm not totally opposed to, if you know what I mean. But
it's done for a reason, though, isn't it? Like you can't go to a club, for instance. You know, people try and sneak in, don't they, when they're underage? It's all the same thing.
There'll be ways around it.
Yeah.
But again, it's like that comparison they made with the jib jab. But you wear a seatbelt, blah, blah. But I kind of agree with seatbelts, if I'm honest.
Well, whether you agree with him, I've not done the maths.
He's never bothered me putting one on, put it that way.
I would say that's done for insurance companies personally, not for your safety. It probably like brushing your teeth is probably good for your teeth, but not with fluoride, for instance, right? So what they do is they insert something that's bad into something that's good, and it's the fly in the ointment, and it's the poison. You know, I'm sure they could make bread that is. People weren't allergic to gluten 200 years ago.
Well, it's because they use it as a carrier in
exactly
jib jabs, isn't it?
Yes, but so all of these products are utilized as weapons against humanity, and social media is obviously one of them. I mean, we've covered it a lot, and a lot of breakdowns of the people involved to say it's weaponized. So by saying they're going to take it off you,
It's just the weaponization, just a different way, isn't it?
The house wins every time, sadly.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of people think they're proper truthers and they're not involved in it, but I've not met anybody yet who's not in some way, I could say compromise for want of a better word, ingrained or utilizing the system. You know,
well,
if you drink a pint of beer from a can, then I'm sorry, but you're paying New World Order some money. You know,
why I can? Because it's taxed to fuck, isn't it, as well? Because it's taxed to fuck.
Yeah, so no matter what you do, right? You are.
I will say though, Fatty, like everyone's got to do what they feel comfortable with. Their little line in the sand.
Yes, yeah.
You know, you've got all your thingy wired up with. You know,
well, I haven't been it because
I have my little burner phone. You know, we all do as little. Some people won't use cards. They'll use cash. Everyone, you do your little thing that makes you feel like you're fighting back a little bit. I suppose the answer, isn't it? Because unless you're going to go and live in wood in a fucking shack, which you probably couldn't do anyway, because someone would turn you out and arrest you anyway, wouldn't they?
Exactly. Even then, you know, you're still going to wear Gore-Tex or something. You're still going to need a box of matches. So regardless how far away from what you think you are from off gridding, let's call it, you're still gridding. And that's not having a go at anybody, by the way. I'm not trying to call anybody out.
It's just been realistic. It's been realistic.
Yeah. And like you say, you've got to do your thing. If your thing is that, my
thing
was always
not of it, as the Bible.
Yeah, exactly.
Is that a Bible quote? I think it is.
I don't know what it is.
Yeah, but it's a true quote, isn't it? You know, you've got to be in this system. It doesn't mean to say you've got to take part in everything. I mean, otherwise we wouldn't be on this, would we? Let's be honest.
No.
You know, I wouldn't have a tablet here that I do the doodles on.
Yeah.
If I was really hardcore.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have a bank card.
No. And it doesn't take much, as we know, because the research I've done, scrape away and find out that the New World Order is attached to whatever, or the Matrix or Spectre, what Spectre, whatever you want to call it, is attached to whatever you're utilizing. Because you could go through your house and pick up 100 things and say that's probably part of World Economic Forum or whatever.
I think the secret of it is, well, not the secret, but like I was saying, we're all going to croak at some point. Is there any point? The goal should be to de-stress yourself as much as possible, not watch the fucking news and stress yourself out, because there's not a lot you can do about Iran. If you want to dip in and watch it, but don't get into that argument with people about it, because there's no point.
Again, that comes back to people's mindsets, though, Chris, and going back to what we were talking about at the beginning of this, right? If some people have succumbed to the MK Ultra, then, and they might be on the truth, I call it the truther side, the conspiracy side, or the NPC side. If you can't handle whatever information you've got and decipher it, then it's going to have an effect on you, innit, whether you like it or not.
Like my mate Alan at work, who I've talked about him here, he's arguing with his daughter about politics, and every week I say, "You still arguing about politics?" Yeah, and I said, "You need to wrap that up, mate." There's no point, because we witnessed that with our dad, didn't we? Argue with everyone about politics. He'd fall out with people over politics.
I know.
When you think about the insanity of that, falling out with
does Alan know you talk about him on your podcast?
Yeah. So sorry, Alan. He'll probably won't listen to this, but
I feel sorry for Alan having to work. I feel sorry for Alan having to work with this twat.
So do I. He said he likes working with me. It's like working with someone from the 80s.
Yeah.
He's older than me.
Yeah.
But if you're arguing with someone, the propaganda's worked. If you're having an argument about politics, about red and blue, or this or that,
if you're having an argument saying Donald Trump's saying or
this, and back and forth,
and Tony Blair,
it's worked. Yeah, it's worked, hasn't it?
I once went into my mate's business, and we were having a chat with him, and I looked on his desk, and he had a biography by Tony Blair. I think I've actually got it. I used some of it from my book.
Yeah. Tony Blair fanboy.
I love Tony. I was in that toilet with him.
You've always loved Tony. You always loved Miranda.
Always loved Miranda. But I said, why you? I said to him, he idolizes Tony Blair. Nice guy.
Yeah.
I don't really know what to say. I've just seen him tonight, actually. But what I mean by that is there are the people out there that idolize these people, and
well, on a lesser scale, on a less obvious scale, my father-in-law he, you know, I remember one Christmas, Winston Churchill were on. He's like, this should be shown every Christmas. And you know when you go, you know, but he's in his 70s, and you know when you go, and you think, you know what? There's no point.
Let him have it. Let him have
it. Yeah. There's no point at this point, is there?
No. No.
Start slagging off someone.
Well, our dad would say him.
Yeah.
Winston Churchill, you know,
I believed it. I believed it all fat.
He won World War II.
Yeah.
What, on his own?
Yeah.
With a bottle of sherry?
Or he fucking started
it. on his own with a bottle of sherry, pissed out of his mind with a big cigar.
Yeah.
No, he didn't really, did he?
No.
Well, if it weren't for him, we'd have lost. All right, yeah.
If it weren't for him, it wouldn't have got as bad as it did. How about that? Sorry,
but people actually believe that. Now, whatever shenanigans is going on with the World Wrestling Federation in the Middle East at the minute, right?
Arab World Federation.
But this is the funny. If it is funny, so Iran have said, "Fucking no can come out of this strait, this blockade." So America, they're stifled. So to stop the blockade, Americans blockaded it.
Blockade.
Blockade. But what I'm trying to say is, I think you listen to that Pete Hegster. I will listen to it because I find it humorous. I find it funny because this is where you get your ammunition from. People will get angry about it though, Chris.
But also it is interesting. I'm not saying it's not interesting. But
yeah, it's interesting.
Be careful how much it stresses you. If it's stressing you out too much, you need to turn away from it for a while. If it's not, then watch it, and you know.
Yeah. No, it intrigues me. It intrigues me. The chess game intrigues me.
This is a chess game, yeah.
And I tell you why I think it stresses people because they've got no control over it. And it highlights how little control that we've got. Just like
that's why they give us the little feeling of control when we get to vote. That gives us a little feeling that we're.
Are you telling me that don't work?
Yeah.
Damn.
Gives you the delusion that you've got some input into the fucking outcome. That's what
I'll just cross Nigel Mirage off.
Gives you the delusion that you're in some level of control, doesn't it? Like reading a newspaper does, like used to. You know, you can sit there and you can rant about this and that.
Yeah,
and like you've got some, you've got nothing level of control from voting or the same people, aren't there? We all watched Sunak roll over so Keir Starling could get in.
Yeah,
we watched it happen in front of his eyes, didn't we?
Yeah, we did. Crabclaw, going back to Slumdog Millionaire, Crabclaw sent me everyone knows who Crabclaw is, don't you? My airy-handed friend.
JJ.
JJ Jackson. I also mentioned him on here, don't I, a bit? So, Alan, tough shit.
He's the only other human being to speak to, really. Oh, before we go on, I forgot to mention Mark.
I just want to.
Oh, go on.
I just want to just write that down, Chris.
No, I don't need to write it down.
so Rishi Sunak's job, I think I've put it in my book actually. Rishi Sunak's new job is heading up an AI company. Okay. I'm trying to find this image here. Anyway, is heading up an AI company, and it says it's going to cause shitloads of job losses, and smile on his face when he says it. But these people who we vote in, it proves they don't give a flying shit over people. Because
really?
No. What I mean by that is that he's ex-prime minister, yet he's getting paid now by apparently he's giving this money to a charity.
Yeah, it doesn't matter, does it? Because money means fuck all to him, does it? Really?
Yeah. No. Well, no, because the people they work for own money. Anyway, but he's quite literally saying, "I'm working for this company." But I know it's going to get, it's going to lose thousands of jobs. So one thing I've noticed over the last few weeks, there's been a lot of businesses, quite large businesses going under. What was that? Was it Meta? So Meta, whether we're all wearing flip flops and love each other. I think they've just released that 8,000 jobs are going.
Well, I mean, that would be a prime one to go to AI, wouldn't it? Really. Because it's all desk jobs, isn't it?
Yeah, that's it. Meta acts as 8,000 jobs.
8,000.
8,000. 8,000 jobs.
But like I just said, fact that would be the first, wouldn't it? Because they are ultimately keyboard jobs, aren't they? I would imagine.
Yes.
Well, they are, aren't they? Because there's nothing physical, is there?
I mean, again, sorry, go on.
No, I'm going to say someone was telling me that accountants, they're only training so many accountants these days.
Right.
Because they're all going to AI, which makes, I'm not saying it makes sense, but it does make sense, doesn't it?
Well, lawyers, the same. You're going to get AI lawyers now. They're already coming up with AI lawyer firms. So all these people that used to study for whatever 4 or 5 years and go through the bar and all that type of stuff, that's going to be a thing of the past.
But,
so where are they going to go? Where are they going to go? So if you want a contract writing up, you get an AI lawyer to write it up for you. I mean, who's going to do them jobs?
And then it's going to get put in charge of military, and then we're in fucking Terminator land.
Well, they are in charge of military, as we saw with that Alex Karp video.
Yeah.
That's the reason they bombed that school in Iran, and nobody blinked, nobody said a word. The AI stuff is another step forward from these computer geeks who've just got that blank look in their eye, who say stuff like that Alex Karp guy, who somebody said he looked like that Art Garfunkel. He doesn't look a bit him, doesn't he?
Yeah, I thought you looked like that director, that New Zealand guy, Taika Waititi, whatever he's called.
All right, yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah. We've talked about him before. You spoke about him before.
You look like him, didn't
he? Yeah. Apart from you didn't actually want to punch that Taika Waititi, whatever he was called.
But that whole thing that you're on about, that chess game going on in that straight, we are watching. We see. I mean, I know some, people are getting killed, but we are watching WWF.
And it's serious because what they're doing, they're going to invent up a shortage of produce. For instance, they're going to invent a shortage.
Is that the outcome? Is that the outcome of this WWF?
I would say the outcome
straight. Is that we've got shortages and they can change everything with shortages, can't they?
Yeah. I would say whoever was pushing Trump, I know people say it's Israel, but Israel are controlled as well. It's not just Israel.
Yeah.
Whoever
pushed go with the Dark Overlord
operation, right? Yeah, the Dark Overlord to try and attack Iran, knew if they pushed Iran too far, they'd bite off more than they could chew, and Iran would close down that region, right?
Yeah.
So, but what Iran don't know is that's what they wanted to happen, whoever in control of this.
So you're watching the chess game between America, Iran, and Israel.
But in reality, it's not Iran and it's not America.
And you've got the Overlord playing the actual chess game,
or Overlord,
the entire or Overlord of the old shenanigans.
Yeah,
good.
Yeah, the Trading Places brothers.
So and then the might be
Murphy smoking that spliff, and he isn't taking $100 bet.
You're right.
Battle shops.
Yeah. Well, I think it's a combo of the dollar bet in Trading Places and the blade tables we always talk about.
Yeah.
With a bit of fucking omen sprinkled in. Just to season it up.
Yeah. I mean, right. So Palantir are in control of all this AI weaponry. And Peter Thiel denies being a vampire. How much closer to blade table do you need?
Or to fucking Batman baddies.
How much closer do you need to be?
People running the show, one's denying he's a vampire.
Yeah.
And the other
but look where they've got people, Chris, right?
Crackhead.
They kill a whatever, 150 kids in a school and a school hockey team while it's being played, right? And then
they're the good guys. They're the good guys.
But then the Trump says it's the Iranians that have killed their own people, right? So not only don't they say, we're sorry, it was a terrible mistake, it was an error on whatever, yeah? But then you've got Middle England, I'm stood at cricket practice, and the guys behind me are saying, yeah, it's a bit bad bombing Iran, but, that regime needs changing.
Terrorist
state, blah, blah, blah. So that is the game. The game is there, what we've just seen there.
Yeah.
Listen to it saying, yeah, but you need to take that jab. But don't 100 people have died instantly? Yeah, but for the greater good. It's for the greater good.
But their alternative was to listen to GB Newsfire.
Yeah. Who Dog Teeth used to work for.
Well, it makes people feel
Mirage.
alternative. Yeah. People feel alternative because they're not watching BBC or ITV.
Yeah. Mm.
I don't know. Yeah, you shouldn't listen to your news from any of them fake alternative places.
No.
Listen to us. Or us.
Yeah, don't listen to us either, because just a pair of Yorkshire knobheads.
Yeah. It's
the amount of people that have been sucked into that GB News thing. I mean, I know funded GB News, and I know.
Well, to be honest, I have it on my radio and I flick through it sometimes, and I listen to a bit of everything. 99% Jazz FM, right? Even their news is the fucking same though. But then I'll flick through a few of them just to listen to what they're talking about.
Yeah.
And that GB News, it's just an anger baiting station. That is, it's just proper anger baiting.
Well, so
on every level.
The callings now, if you listen to call, it's just an argument, isn't it?
Yes. What I mean, BBC, don't get wrong, BBC and ITV are, and so is LBC, whatever. But GB News is a real proper, I don't know, it just made me angry listening to it.
Yeah. but that is what it is. It's like Facebook, but you call in.
Yeah.
I mean, I've never been on Facebook, but I believe it's just people probably like on Twitter, just having arguments constantly. Yeah. And that, whereas call-ins in the 80s, when it used to be people calling in to what they call him, James Whale and stuff
James
like
Whale.
that. It did used to be quite comical.
Yeah, it was funny. He was funny back then. He didn't turn out to be that funny. No. He was telling everyone to get tapped, were he?
No.
Did he pass away, James Whale?
Yeah, he's dead. Yeah. What is funny is, for the first time, I think I mentioned this before, but all these military people in America, they've got their own podcasts. I find this strange. They've got their own podcasts commenting when their own country is at war. And they are not holding back of what they're saying about Trump or even Biden. They're not holding back about. They're not political. These are military guys who are just military. Yeah,
lifelong military guys.
They can't quite work out that it's really a WWF shenanigans. Yeah, because they're saying this is insane. Can't they see that they're going to close the whole world down? Can't they see that they're going to stop anybody being able to grow crops and stuff like that? They don't understand that that's the plan. That is the plan, because to them it is totally insane.
That is the plan, because they're basically laying the seeds now, aren't they, for the future where they can do whatever they want, basically.
Yes, yeah. Minority Report.
Yeah, in the future they can do whatever they want because of this that's happening now. How long do you think it'll be before we start seeing repercussions of that?
They're already cancelling flights, Chris.
Oh fuck! I'm going to South France next year. This year, in August.
Yeah. They're already talking about in Korea and that limiting how much you can drive your car, and in other countries as well. Rationing fuel.
So you should book your flight with insurance, do you reckon? Because we were talking about booking. I'm paying for this holiday. We're booking the flights. You have to insure them, won't you?
If you're booking a package holiday, it should be covered. But then, what's it covered against? If everybody's flights cancel, are they going to pay everybody out? There won't be any insurance to pay out.
Yeah. They could actually. Yeah.
Now, I don't want to be. This could be over because it don't work.
Yeah, it might just be another stress ball to stress everything the fuck out.
Exactly. So I don't want to get into that one where this is it. Because I thought that in 2020. Okay.
I thought that in 80s.
Exactly. And you could go back and back and back, couldn't you? 9/11 and what have you. Yeah. Now, so is this just another turning point to speed stuff on? Probably. Probably.
Or is this just a fucking loose grab to
another loose grab, another rip off to when price of oil goes up? So the price of oil, like if we grew some carrots in a field and then somebody else grew some carrots in a field and somebody else did. So there were 3 lots of farmers growing carrots. If my carrots were cheaper, but a better grade, I'd sell them cheaper. And the oil's not like that. Oil has got to have one worldwide price. Yeah. So the price goes up. And
but also what the fucking, we could control the price in England, especially could control the price just by reducing the tax. So it didn't have to. It doesn't. If you were a leader who cared, who actually gave a shite, you could, like when the fuel prices went up.
But Chris, that tax is for the Bank of England.
Yeah, I know. But like do you remember? Was it 2020, 2022 when all the prices went up And then this literally happened in real life, right?
You could see
all
it,
the energy.
yeah,
the energy prices went ridiculous, destroyed a load
Yeah.
of businesses, and then BP and Shell said we've had the best year ever. How the fuck does that work?
Yeah.
And the same with now. They could take the tax off or reduce the tax, and we could pay the same prices. I filled up my car, and it was about 10 or more than what it was prior to the shenanigans. Now, I'm not happy that it's a 10 or more, but it's not the fucking drama, beating the drums, we're all doomed, end of the world scenario that they want us to believe it is it? It's a 10 or more, let's be honest. So it was fucking 80 quid instead of 70 quid or whatever. And it doesn't make you happy, but it's not. No. But they did the same with the fuel prices. They were telling us we were fucked before anything happened, didn't they, if you remember? Yeah. So it weren't about the fuel prices, probably not even about the money. It was about the stress of the build up to it. It was the journey, the fuel price journey of doom that they were creating for us. That's what they want, and they're doing the same now. Yeah. But don't get me wrong, I think they probably will be able to control things, but it'll be where it'll be, won't it? There's no point getting stressed about it. You just got to carry on.
Well, yeah, you've got to work your way around it. I mean, anyway, yeah. So, talking of...
we might have ration books, might we?
Yeah, might have ration books, yeah. Put some on TV the other night. It was Tyson Fury's family. I mean, if you ever want to watch out like that, we were brought up around gypsy folks, having horses and stuff like that. We knew quite a lot of travellers when we were younger.
I think we've probably got gypsy in us going on.
Yeah, maybe. Family. Yeah, maybe. But what makes me laugh is they're living in this mansion, and there's all these gypsy folk in there, travellers, kids, and they all look like just want to smash everything up. But it's their
all
house.
Blinged up. It's all blinged up.
All blinged up. All of it. Yeah. It's insane. And these are the people who we're meant to look up to. Not that there's anything wrong with them, but it's just insane. People are, and he's talking about being bipolar constantly on TV. His wife's talking about him being bipolar. His dad's talking about him being bipolar constantly. These are meant to be tough gypsies. When would a tough gypsy off a campsite?
So they've got like a mental condition.
that being bipolar would probably be a good trait going back 50 years ago on a gypsy campsite.
Yeah. I don't even. Well, yeah. What does that even mean?
Having split personalities or what have you? Yeah.
I don't even know I don't know anything about that man, to be honest with you. No. Because I don't really watch fighting. I know that one of his relations was at a place I was working, and there was a frenzy. That's the only thing I know about him.
Right. Tommy Fury, his brother.
Is it? I don't know.
Yeah.
He was at a place I was working, and everyone, and there were a lot of them there.
Right. This intro's gone on for 37 minutes, Chris. I just thought I'd tell you.
Well, it's all right, isn't it? Doesn't matter, does it?
No, not really. No. While we're on, then I want to play that preacher woman.
Let me just before you carry on. Let me just
go on. You crack on about that. Do you have Mark's?
Yeah, we went to Mark was in Cambridge, Mr. Devlin's, and I went round there, and we had a little half an hour chat at the beginning. It was really good.
A chat or like a Q&A or?
Well, it was just me and him at the front. He was going to do his presentation, and he was just asking me a few stuff, and we were just having a backwards and forwards. I hope it was all right, because I'm shy at public speaking. It's not my bag at all.
As bad as you think.
Well, it didn't stress me out. That's the good thing. I don't get all nervous or anything. I just worry that I ain't got out to say.
Yeah.
Well, again, goes back to the fact: why does anyone listen to us at all?
Yeah. I know.
But it was really good, and we've created a little Cambridge group out of it. So we went to the pub afterwards, and so we'll hopefully meet up for a pint at some point.
I will.
No, you won't. But Claire, one of the girls who was there, I've been in conversation with her and her husband.
Yeah.
And I said, "Oh, you organise it, because I'm shy at organising things like this." Yeah. And I'm not even on WhatsApp, so I can't even get a group.
What, you don't even know what it's called? It's not called WhatsApp.
What's it called?
It's called WhatsApp.
I wondered why I missed. I was laughing when I said that.
But that's even better, Chris, because you haven't a clue what it is. Yeah,
I know. People get really angry when you're not on it as well.
Yeah, I know they do. I know.
Yeah,
I know.
I'd get it if I could, but
I've just got it because somebody wanted to text me some documents and so on. But
It is useful. I mean, I get it, but I can't get it on my tablet. I've only got an Apple tablet, and you can't get it unless you've got a mobile smartphone. I ain't got a smartphone, so I can't link it. Yeah, etc.
Yeah.
Even too much.
So you won't have a smartphone, but you'll have a tablet. It doesn't make sense either,
but I'm
does
very
it?
exactly no, but like the line in the sand we talked about, I'm very open about the fact it's not because of EMFs or anything.
You're very open about the fact that you're a knobhead.
I'm a knobhead. No, but it's not because of EMFs or anything, which is what someone else would say they've got a burner phone for. Mine is because of the distraction of just sitting there gawking at the fucking thing.
Yeah. Fortunately, I don't really go online with mine. I don't get emails or anything.
But it's whatever floats your boat. I mean, I've had my burner phone now. I've used that for 8 years now since this was bought.
No, you've had more than one.
No, I've got about 5 of them.
Burner phones are shite.
Yes,
that you call burner phones.
But I'm not on it when I'm out and about, and I've got a business online. But I'm happy to look at it. It's not that important, is it? Till I get home. I don't know. No emails that important till I get home. None of it's important. The only thing I do miss is the maps. If I'm honest with you,
apparently it is, Chris. You've got to be in touch with the world 7 days a week, 24/7.
Just the fucking stress ball. I leave my car in the phone overnight sometimes, or I leave it in my shed, and I forget that it's there, and then I'm like, "Oh, where's my fucking phone?" Which is the point I wanted to get to, where I don't know where it is. Do you know what I mean? I don't care where it is. I'm sat here at a computer now. That's as much computer time as I need. I use my tablet to listen to podcasts in my shed. That's it.
Yeah,
really.
So while we're on, I mean, we might as well stick it out for another 10 minutes. Let me put this preacher woman on that you mentioned quite a while ago. Actually,
I've got over my preacher thing now. I went through a phase. We're fucking nutters out, right? But I went through a phase of about 6 months. Watching those evangelistic preachers in America. I don't know why. Every time you're like late at night watching YouTube, and there's one there, I'm like, fuck it, I'll just watch that one about that other evangelistic nut job preacher. I don't know why. And and then I went on to EV cars. I don't know why. You just end up watching weird random shit, don't you?
Yeah, you do.
Obsessed about some of the. Yeah, now I'm watching fucking people who are on steroids. I've got no interest in steroids. I don't know why.
Yeah, I don't understand that. You've got no interest in.
No, but you have these little like 2 week stints, don't you? Where you just barrage yourself with a load of shit about one subject, then move on. Like I said, anyone who's in this world, we're all slightly obsessive characters, aren't we? I think.
Yeah. Look, let me. I'll pull this up here. This woman here. I think it's a 2-minute video.
There's an anointing of release right now. I want $100,000 to come in. I want $100,000. There are 10 people that could give $10,000. There's 100 people that could give $1,000. Get a check, make it payable to Paul White Ministry. I need you to stand. There's only 3 envelopes. I'm not moving. I'm not going to lay hands on people till you're obedient. Get out of your seat. Come on and come bring up a seed. Come bring up a seed. How many of you want to be a blessing? Because I'm telling you, there's an anointing of release right now. I want $100,000 to come in. I want $100,000. There are 10 people that could give $10,000. There's 100 people that could give $1,000. Get a check, make it payable to Paula White.
I mean,
I'm gonna do that at next live show.
For God, this is about kids who don't make a difference. I'm not going to take everybody's blessing. Come on. I'm going to tell you, get a seed of sacrifice. Get in the arena. Get in the arena. I need you to stand. There's only 3 envelopes. I'm not moving. I'm not going to lay hands on people.
She's not going to lay hands on people, Chris. She's not going to.
That means to heal them. No, she's going to heal them. Yeah. She's Donald Bird's spiritual advisor.
Donald Bird.
Donald Bird. Sorry, she's not Donald Bird, the jazz musician, spiritual advisor. She's Donald Trump's spiritual advisor. Donald Bird's my favourite jazz musician.
Why did that randomly come into your head?
She's Donald Bird, Trump's spiritual advisor.
Donald Bird.
Donald's Bird. She's literally dressed like a hooker, wasn't she?
Yeah. Yeah. You trust her though, wouldn't you? I mean, especially if she's telling you to give 10 grand for your seed. Yeah.
I want 100 grand before. I mean, and have you heard how she's repeating it though? That's like hypnotic. Just, have you heard her when she's talking in tongues and she's going?
But Trump apparently yesterday, Trump yesterday started giving sermons, and he's not that religious apparently. Trump,
he's not religious at all.
Probably because he gets struck by a bolt of lightning.
Lucifer, you mean?
Yeah.
Well, she stands there saying that he's on God's side, doesn't she? He's working for God. And I mean, if I'm in the White House, it's because God's in the White House. What the fucking hell's this woman? She's a fucking...
Yeah.
How do you get the right to say that?
It's insane.
You know,
It's
we're not
insanity.
religious, but the supreme being that, you know, created the world is on the side of America. Well, the Israelis think they're on the side of Israel, you know, and vice versa, whatever. How do you get the right to say that? This fucking psycho. She's as psychotic as Donald Byrd.
Yeah.
Donald Byrd Trump. She's mental. Go on, play that then. Play it. Well, whatever you're looking at,
Yeah, I'm just trying to find this video that you're going to
I think
love.
this is where she starts talking in tongues, isn't it?
I think so, yeah. Just hang on, let me...
Because what these preachers believe, just quickly, is if you give them... And this is what shocked me when I went through my weird phase of watching these people, is when they say seeding, they believe if you give them some money, your money will become back in abundance.
Right.
So the people watching them believe that is a thing. So the richer they are, they think that they'll get rich because they're watching them and they're rich. I mean, I don't remember in any religious scripture that being a thing, do you?
No. But it is now. I don't know what looks she going for now. She's gone from hooker to...
casual librarian.
Casual middle soccer mom.
Is done. For I hear victory, 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 victory in the quarters of heaven. In the quarters of heaven, victory, 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 victory. For angels are being released right now. Angels are being dispatched right now. Hamanda aka ata raka teda baka sanda ata ambo osa kata rite eke banda ata rike didi ashata. For angels have even dispatched.
What was she saying then? Was that actually
that's talking in tongues. That's talking in tongues.
Right. What is talking in tongues?
Like they're talking in the angelic language.
Is it just made up though? That?
Well, clearly, yeah. Yeah. They all do it.
Like
that fucking
didn't say though.
That mad guy with that mad guy with airplanes does it.
With snake eyes. Yeah.
Yeah, they're fucking nuts, man. These people are insane. They are insane.
I don't know who's more insane, them or the idiots.
Or fucking thousands of people watching them.
Yeah.
It's fucking madness, fire. That's why I got so obsessed to watch it. I'm like, you want to see when they start laying on the hands and they're lying on the floor going, they go to them, put their hand on their head and they pass out. Have you ever seen any of that footage of that Benny Hinn
I've seen some of that footage. Yeah, you've sent me some.
You've seen that Benny Hinn guy with a coat where he just wafts his coat and they all fall over. I mean,
is it real that, or is it just? Are they all set up?
I think it's some kind of massive hypnosis. I don't know what it is. I know one thing: he's never healed a fucking human being.
No. He's robbed them.
He's robbed them.
If taking the money off them's healing them, then he's healing them.
I don't know.
From Africa right now, Africa right now, Africa right now, from Africa right now. They're coming here. They're coming here. In the name of Jesus, from South America, they're coming here. They're coming here. They're coming here. They're coming here. From Africa, from South America, angelic forces, angelic reinforcement, angelic reinforcement, angelic reinforcement. Fika hata anda ata ora bata rata anda eke manda rasata. For I hear the sound of victory. 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 I hear the.
Right, just turn that mad bitch off.
Who's that guy in background blocking up and down with fucking newspaper?
With the newspaper? I don't know.
That's weird.
What on earth is that?
Look at those little laundry baskets. That's
Trump's spiritual advisor.
I know. Well, have you seen her with him saying, he's doing the right thing? Is it, God's with him? It's fucking insanity, isn't it? But it's in laundry baskets to collect the money at the front.
Yeah. Haven't they got better to put it in an old laundry basket from Wilco's?
Yeah, little plastic laundry basket. She released made of wood or something, shouldn't it?
Yeah, some nice
some, gold trim around it.
Yeah, some nice religious type.
Yeah, that is literally a laundry basket from Wilco's. No wonder they won't bust. You only bought 2. Dear.
Oh, we're living in an open air nut house, man.
Fucking nut house.
I saw this thing, right? And I thought, Chris is going to love this. Watch this, Chris. You're going to go, I told you.
Oh, fuck. Oh, God, here we are. Fucking hell.
突破外围防御体系啊，是进攻作战中最难的，也是伤亡最大的。我们用这些廉价的无人装备开路，高的呢用飞机炸，矮的呢无人车上，动的用筒子去轰，减少人员伤亡的同时，还能。
Anyway, what if you're listening to this? What we're watching there is basically robot dogs that Chris has been going on for about 20 years.
Yeah, literally, I've watched them since the Dapper days when they first Boston Dynamics. When they couldn't stand up, and now they actually showed one with a machine gun on back of it, as I said,
walking across the field.
Fucking hell! Are we gonna see them outside his houses? Maybe, I don't know.
Them and drones, aren't they?
Yeah.
I mean, look at that. It's a drone with a machine gun on it.
Machine gun on it, yeah. One with a sniper rifle on it.
A machine gun.
Yeah, I've seen one with a sniper rifle on it as well. Fucking mad, that, isn't it? I don't mean to. I'm not saying that predicted the future, but it was so clear to see where it was going on it.
Yeah.
So clear to see as well. The ones who developed the actual robot dogs.
It's going upstairs now.
It's got wheels on it.
That's a recent release. That's only from a couple of days ago. That.
Well, they haven't shown it at that level yet before, have they?
No.
But if you remember, they developed the robot dogs, and then we did talk about this. I looked into it, and it was about the applications. Yeah. So obviously, the military are going to buy up the robot dogs. But how tell me this, right? Fire. China, arch enemy. They've got that was the Boston Dynamics robot dog. Why have they all got the same robot?
Why is it the same shape?
Same one. And you could say that about World War II airplanes, like we've said before. Yeah. You could say that about all the missiles and all the same. It's a little explosive, that, isn't it?
Yeah.
But also, Fire, all these things have been in video games. Who's going to be driving these things?
Yeah, the video game
in charge of these things. Yeah. They've had you think of the training.
Robot tank, that's a robot tank.
You think of the training that the kids get, like him there.
Yeah.
Or her. Get on Call of Duty or any of these video games. You've seen them. We've seen our kids playing. They've got fucking reactions like Jedi's, aren't they?
Yeah.
They know how to work this stuff already because they've played it in video games for 5 to 10 years.
I mean, that is proper Hunger Games stroke.
It's modern warfare, Battlefield Modern Warfare.
Yeah.
They have been trained. Every teenager you know has been trained to operate this stuff.
And that's what I'm saying about the US. The US has suddenly gone out of date because all their equipment that they're using, battleships, things like that, is out of date. They can't get battleships near Iran because Iran will just blow them out of water. Doesn't matter how many aircraft are on them. You imagine, right? The American people, if Iran sinks, which, I mean, I've got a picture of that battleship with a big hole in it, that aircraft carrier with a big hole in it, from an obvious missile, not a laundry fire that they said it was. Imagine the American people if one of those aircraft carriers gets sunk.
Well, I would guess it will do at some point.
Yeah. One cruise missile in the wrong place, it's sunk, it's gone. And so they're parked miles off. So it's all right, I'm saying they're bringing loads of aircraft carriers near. They've got underground drone factories of the Iranians. You know, so What is? Do you know, like the Romans, for instance? At some point, they went out of date, and somebody came on and said, "We can fuck these over if we want to do them, because look how weak they are at this point."
And we've been watching them for generations.
Yeah.
You know, they've spread out. They've got weaker and weaker, which is literally what America have done, isn't it?
Well, what Britain did, and that doesn't mean to say it's still not a chess game, because the people running the shit show don't give a toss about America or any country. They're superfluous to anything. They're above everything on this game. But I mean, I'll still stick with. I think we were talking about it the other day with Dave, that there are several probably groups vying for power that are probably of the same ilk.
Well, if you think, if you were the Dark Overlord of World War II, the outcome wouldn't have mattered, would it?
No.
If the Germans won, they'd have said that the English did loads of atrocities, probably killed loads of whatever, and the outcome would have been the same.
Germany and killed.
The outcome would have been the same. They'd have killed a load of people and then divvied up the land.
Yes. Yeah.
What would have been the difference?
Somebody would have been on take, wouldn't they? And again, there were some comments the other day saying, "Oh, I disagree with Dave or disagree with Dom or Chris or whatever." But we're having talking points here. It's not necessarily our opinions. Gone through too much to say I'm 100% right on that one particular theory, right?
It's a bit late. It's a bit late in the scheme of things to be discussing it like that, isn't it? Saying but he said that, and it's like that comment you said when you said about the MK Ultra thing in Canada. It was just around the corner, or it was next door to, or it was near, and someone said, "No, we're actually 2 blocks away." Yeah, it's like, does it matter?
No.
I might have been wrong about the robot dogs. There might have been footage of them a year ago. So what?
Doesn't matter. But the very fact that the people you're talking about are linked to MK Ultra, right? And MK Ultra was at the same university 2 blocks away, right?
Yeah.
It's sort of irrelevant.
You said it was next door.
Yeah.
Or around the corner.
I said it was next door.
And they said no, it was 2 blocks away. That's pretty much next door.
In my world, it is, but that's my phrasing, you know.
If it was anywhere in Canada, it would still be next. I would still say the words next door. To be fair.
Yeah, but I think we've got to be open-minded. It's difficult though. It is difficult because you know, because you do get dogmatic because we've been trained that way.
Yeah,
you know? I mean, and Shannon, our friend Shannon, right? And no, she won't mind this. We differ on so many things to do with health, me and Shannon. Yeah. But that doesn't mean to say I'm going to fall out with her. You know what I mean? We just differ on it. We've got had different experiences, you know?
Me and Alan at work differ on all this stuff.
I agree with Alan, though.
But I'm not going to fall out with him over it.
No.
He falls out with his daughter about it, but not me.
Yeah.
Because I will always stand by the fact that there shouldn't be any wars. There's no need for it. Wars are part of the system. They're not necessary.
It's something to do with the evil control mechanism that's in this, because it's always been part of human history, hasn't it? Clubbing somebody to death, stabbing them with a sword, what have you.
Well, the way I see it, Fatty, the minute that someone made a sword, it was in their interest to use that sword and ruin it so they could make another one.
Well, for instance, right, if someone's 6'9", they could probably kick shit out of you, right? If you've got a sword, the chances are you're going to kill them, right? Because you cut their arm off before they get you. So it doesn't matter if you're 5'2" and they're 6'9". You're going to do some damage to them, aren't you? So it's going to put them off fighting you. Now, if that guy at 6'9" all of a sudden gets a shotgun, you fuck with your sword, right? So as soon as these weapons, like the robot dogs, as soon as they don't have to risk anybody now, and there's not going to be that many humans, it'll be just robot dog wars.
And everyone's been trained on, like I say, Call of Duty and those kind of video games where they're using them kind of things. Yeah. I mean, you imagine the whole world has been trained to use these things now,
and Transformer films.
No, but you've seen Jacob and I've seen Seb and I've played them myself. Those video games, they're very in your face, and you are literally controlling someone who's going around shooting things. If you're sat in a truck, for instance, controlling one of them dogs, that's what you would be doing. That's what you would be seeing,
like a drone.
And like a drone. And it's also you'd have ones in controlling the drones, one controlling the dogs, and it would take away that human aspect of murdering someone, because they've done it in video games. You can see it, can't you? And I remember seeing years ago, it was saying that they were trying to come up with a drug to stop people having PTSD, you know,
Yeah.
from going to war.
How about
just
stopping war?
Yeah.
Shucks.
Not having another human being blow someone else's head off.
Yeah.
How about that? How about those potatoes?
Yeah. All right, we've yapped on again for another hour. And we're going to do some stuff, and I'm not going to be able to do it. So, we've got a few good products actually being released soon, Chris. I'm going to send you some down.
Right.
All for cardiovascular system. All for a lot of people were asking me, is there anything you can do for blood clots?
What people
as my black friends up here say, blood clots.
Is that from people who've had the tap then?
Well, the tap, and because we're all getting older. What you see, say somebody comes to the clinic and they're having the ozone treatment and the blood's going into that bottle that you had a few years ago. When you get past 6 or 7 passes, it does start. You see little
fucking hell. You could
at bottle. Yeah.
Mine were like treacle.
Yours were like red wine.
Was that red wine?
But what I've noticed with mine since I've been taking these products, not my own products I bought to test it, is that I don't get any of them now.
Right. To basically thin your blood down more naturally, though.
Well, yeah, don't say thin. They do thin your blood a little bit, but more helps your body break down the clots that are in your system. And what's been found is there are several things that help break down, because the clots in the from the taps are totally different to normal clots. Yeah, there are several things that help break them down as well. One of them's glutathione. Yeah, another one. NAC, N-acetylcysteine, N-acetylcysteine, but a specific kind of NAC. And so I've made a bit of a formula up with them. And then there's another one called CoQ10, which is another good one for your cardiovascular system. And also berberine. Now, berberine's got other fantastic properties. It's good for
I've never heard of that.
Glucose balancing. Bear in mind, this is plant based, so even me and Shannon might get on about these. But it's just plant based. So berberine is good for balancing glucose levels. It's also good for weight loss.
I was going to say, is that good for weight loss then? Yeah,
good for weight loss. Yeah, but also it helps manage blood clots in your system. I mean, I'll go into more details probably in the podcast about this.
Right.
I've been really waiting for these, and the last one is a product that I bought. I think this is out of all of them, this is the one you really should do. You should do all of them really when you get past a certain age, but this is the one you should do. It's called nattokinase, right?
What the hell is that?
It were made in Japan. It's a derivative of soy. It's an enzyme, and this product we've bought is a patented version of this, right? That helps you break down blood clots, and it's been proven and tested to do that as well. So
someone's messaged me something about that, I'm sure.
Right, okay.
Have they?
I don't know, maybe I've been telling you. I don't know, maybe they have or they haven't. But anyway,
I've just got this thing about soy derivative products.
Yeah, so this product, these products naturally help, and there are other products that I'm having designed up as well that naturally help break down blood clots and help the cardiovascular system.
What else does that nattokinase one do?
Nattokinase.
I should have read about that recently.
Let me read off the list. So, improves cardiovascular health, improves circulation, may reduce inflammation, which means it does, may enhance immune function, which means it does, helps prevent blood clots, bone health, improves cognitive function, improves skin, sinus health, metabolism, which again is part of your glucose and digesting food and all that type of stuff, how you turn it into energy, blood pressure regulation. You know, it goes on. What they basically do is break down, the fibrin clots. Were called, I forgot the name now, but anyway, that were being caused. Those things they're pulling out of when they were doing autopsies. They break down those.
Well, those white ones.
Yeah. There's studies on it. There's loads of studies on it. Yeah.
What since
Also,
people started finding the white fibrous clots?
yeah. They also shrink nasal polyps, which would be interesting for you.
Oh fucking hell! I've got nasal polyps.
Right. They also help conditions such as COPD and bronchitis. Helps gut microbiome.
When have you got that? Can you send me some of that down now?
That's next week. That see you next week.
Because I've still got nasal polyps, and I went to the doctor hospital, and they scanned my head, sent me a letter telling me I got nasal polyps. That was about
fuck all.
3 months ago.
Yeah. So, obviously my eyes lit up because although my sinuses aren't anything like what they used to be, that's from high dose vitamin C IVs. But I'll take anything that helps additionally for that as well.
Since I had that, I woke up this morning and I couldn't breathe out my nose, and I used a what they call that thing that you put water in my nose. I forget the name of it.
Saline?
No, you put that. You know.
Oh right, yeah. Epipot or whatever it's called.
Epipot, that's it.
Yeah.
And I put some Clydal silver up there.
Yeah.
And I got specks of blood coming out of me. This one nostril here.
Right.
Because they put a camera up there, and he showed me them, and they were as big as his thumb. These.
Well, like an Instamatic camera, they put up.
No, one of them with fucking hood on it. So he went up there, put the hood on, and
just saw this big flash in your eyes. An Instamatic thing came out your mouth.
But they were. I could tell they'd flared up last night for some reason.
Do you know why?
Blood came out. Why?
Well, this time of year, there's a lot of pollen coming off the trees.
Right.
So it's not just grass cutting. Yeah. And also, I know it's not big farming land where you are, but there's a lot of farms. There's quite a few farms where you are.
No, there's a lot of fields around here.
When they do the first cut of the silage, all the shit they've been spraying, that goes up into atmosphere. And it's like your nose is fucking burning or your eyes.
But I've never had hay fever though.
No, you don't have to, but if you're susceptible to that nonsense that's going on.
Fucking pollens, man, they drive me nuts. It's just up this
how interesting will it be though if you take some of these and it helps do that? Some of the stuff I tell you, and some other ones I know they're very similar. Polyps and like say hemorrhoids. And I've got some hemorrhoid capsules as well that are very.
Is it the same thing, a hemorrhoid and a polyp?
No, I wouldn't say it's the same thing. But end of the day, your body's one body, isn't it? If it helps, shrink.
He put the Kodak camera up that nostril. It just went straight up. And he put it up there, and he couldn't fucking get it up. They were that big. It was like, and I was like,
yeah.
Fuck's sake.
But yeah, so yeah, the hemorrhoid ones are decent as well. For not necessarily for that, but for anybody who's got hemorrhoids, basically.
Well, the other one you said
reduces itching and all sorts of stuff.
Inflammation. I suffer from inflammation. I suffer from joint ache and these polyps. Other than that, I'm all right.
Obviously, I can't make these bloody things quick enough because when I mean that is design them from scratch. Because I've had to import all this stuff because I have to search out. If you think about my research I do on my other stuff, I research this stuff as well to find the ingredients. And I think this has come from Japan. I've also got another one that's coming next week. Obviously, people our age, your hormones start changing, not just blokes, but women as well. So fenugreek, which is a plant, use it in cooking in India and all that type of stuff. Fenugreek has been known to improve testosterone levels. Yeah. So is it fenugreek or fenugreek? Fenugreek.
I think it's fenugreek. I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, however it's pronounced, there's a company that make. They've basically taken the active part of that out to make it stronger, if you like, and patented it and proved that it improves testosterone levels in men and women. Because it's not just men that need testosterone levels altering; it's women as well. So I think that'll be out next. We're just designing labels on that, so that might be a few weeks out. But yeah, we've got some hormone improvement stuff as well. So most of these things that I'm designing are for our age group. People are going
that's why
it's all these things. Yeah.
Well, you started doing it so you could supplement yourself, didn't you?
Well, all these things I've used myself, but I'm finding the better versions of it that, but anyway, and the plant versions, organic, non-GMO plant versions.
Yeah.
Funnily enough, all these things.
Fucking send me some of that polyps stuff.
Oh, I'm going to do. Yeah. The amyloid clots. That's what they're called. Amyloid clots. That's what's in people from the. I were actually going to call the product amyloid clot reduction, but I thought it's a bit too. So I'd just call it.
I will say, Fatty, when I went to the hospital with my polyps, and I know you got upset. Well, not upset with me, but because I took these, they gave me some steroids basically, and there were only 3 days of steroids, and it was to see if it could get rid of them, and I took them, and to be honest, it did get rid of them. I don't understand what steroids do.
Well, shrink the short term. It probably did something. Yeah.
Yeah, but
obviously take them long term, that becomes a problem.
Yeah, and it were only 3 or 4 days worth of thing, but I had this fucking beautiful window of I could taste things again,
right?
And then it fucking, when I stopped taking them, it went away. So it did work, but
the good thing about that is it's nothing nefarious because it's gone and come back. If you get me drift.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But there was a glorious moment where I was saying to Lou, "Fuck me, I can actually." Oh my God.
Wait. There were a glorious moment where I thought, "Fuck me, I stink."
Yeah. Hey, I won't lie, that has happened where Lou's gone, I think you used to have a shower, Chris. I'm like, what? I don't smell of anything.
When you've been working in a kitchen,
yeah. But I
sort of
can't
allowed
smell
that.
anything. I can smell and taste now. It came back, but not to what it used. But when I took them steroids for 3 days, something happened. And I was like, fucking hell! I had a dish at work. I was like, oh my God, I can taste everything in that. Can you imagine as a cook when that goes away? It's pretty fucking weird.
Yeah.
So it's almost like
I've been eating your food.
you're just dealing with textures rather than tastes. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, it would be interesting to see what happens there. Anyway,
so yeah, no. I think the berberines is on there now. The berberine's a really good product. I've been taking that for about 6 months now, and I've got to say, especially if you're wanting to lose weight, training wise, keep your weight down and stuff like that. I mean, that's a really good product. Is that
the glucose one?
Yeah. And glutathione, you should take it. That's what ozone does. Ozone will, if you do it rectally, or it goes into your liver and produces glutathione from your liver. So supplementing with it that's like the ultimate antioxidant is glutathione.
Right.
But your body actually produces that.
Yeah, good stuff. Anyway, I'm willing to try all of it.
Yeah. Well, you've got it on tap, haven't you? So you're fortunate.
Yeah, just tell Jacob to send me some down, especially the fucking polyp ones.
But I was actually asked by a few people if there were any products that helped that. Obviously, they want and easy products to take as well, because what people do, obviously, not many people want to come to a clinic, have a needle shoved in their arm, and blood drawn from them or dripping them. But it can't convince a family member to do that, but they probably can convince a family member to take
a tablet, capsule.
Especially if they can do their own research on what it actually does. Yeah. And it can easily find the research on.
Do you know the frightening thing is, Fatty, right? I've had this thing for like 4 years now, and now we're talking. I can feel it burning here.
Yeah.
Like a burning sensor. So it's there all the time. And when I was taking them steroids, I could breathe better. And I felt more energized.
It wouldn't surprise me, Chris, if I had nasal polyps before, and when I started doing massive doses of vitamin C through an IV, it got rid of them. It wouldn't surprise me at all.
No, it wouldn't me either, to be fair. I need to come up more regular and get a 10 pass again, don't I?
Yeah.
Because it's fucking you know when you've had something for so long you forget how bad it is. But I can feel it burning this morning. I could feel it burning in this nasal passage here.
Yeah.
And when I put that thing up my nose and a load of blood splats came out. So they'd obviously popped or something, or I don't know, just gone weird.
No, they just shrink up.
I put some Clydal silver water up there.
Right.
And a lot of blood. Basically, I put that up there. A lot of blood came out of this one, like specks of blood. I put it up that one, and nothing came out. So it wasn't even passing through.
Blocked,
you're totally blocked. Anyway, I better go, Fax.
Yeah, we're going. Yeah, we're only going to do 10 minutes in intro.
20 minutes. 1 hour, 20. 20-minute intro.
Yeah.
I think that's a record.
Fucking knobhead. It's a Friday night.
Yeah.
Sod it.
Well, no, I got fuck all to do. Just I made a curry. I tell you what, I did buy this week a rice. You don't eat rice, do you anymore?
I eat a bit of rice. I do eat a bit of rice.
I bought a rice
but
cooker.
Not much.
Right?
Yeah.
I bought a rice cooker. I've used them in the kitchen. I didn't realize you could buy them about this big now. So you just put a scoop of rice in, and it fucking cooks it in 20 minutes. But you can throw anything in it.
Does it steam it?
Yeah. So you put a cup of rice and a cup of water in it.
Might be what we're all eating soon, Chris.
But you can put whatever you want in it. Like I tried it this afternoon. Put some soy. I made a soy sauce, garlic, ginger, some broccoli. Steamed it. Just made it a little fucking rice bowl. It was delicious.
I love rice as well.
Yeah,
I do love rice, but I don't eat many carbs. So
but do you eat brown rice then?
Well, no, I don't eat many carbs. It's still carbs, isn't it? White rice, brown rice. But
these little fucking rice cookers.
Rice, I like it. I like it better than pasta. I never eat pasta, but
the point is that rice cookers used to be about this big, and now you can get them about this big.
Right.
You can just cook like a couple of portions of rice in it. Yeah. Fucking brilliant. It's a game changer for me.
Right, I don't really know what I'm going to do with this week's podcast, but I'll probably pin the podcast I did with Mark on the back of this
little medley.
Yeah. I don't know if we use a video. Probably all of this will have been in well, maybe not. I don't know. Shall I use the video, Chris?
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, why not? Why not? Why not? All right, then, everybody. I hope you enjoy the chat I have with Mark and the one we've had with Dave as well. You can catch that on the live stream. Anyway, that's it. God knows what this is going to turn out like, but there'll be 3 podcasts in one, probably. Have a good weekend. But
yeah, longest 20 minutes of my life.
And today I'm crossing over to a darkened basement somewhere in deepest, darkest West Yorkshire, chatting to Don Waterson of the Sheep Farm podcasts. Welcome, mate.
Hi, Polly, all right?
Yep, not for the first time. We've done a few of these.
We've done a few of these now, yeah. We're hold hats at this album.
Minus your brother on this occasion.
Yeah, I did actually ask him if he would to partake, but he said he's in his shed making weird sculptures. So
he does that, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does. Yeah.
When
I ring him up, he's scraping teeth. So with his pottery scrapers, and I have to put the phone down because I can't listen to all that nonsense for half an hour on a phone call.
You know, maybe he should make some of his weird little pottery models of some of these bloody characters you've spoken about in your book, Hancock and Johnson. That could be quite entertaining.
Yeah, well, I have actually said that to him. I think he is going down a little bit down that road, like the satanic type of versions of these people. I mean, he's done a really good job.
Well, they're satanic in the first place, aren't they?
Yeah, and making actual pottery to portray them is an interesting concept. Come on, Chris, get it sorted. Yeah, the demons, which is an interesting trait, regardless of religion, that these people that we're probably going to talk about today are actually, they seem to have been possessed in some sort of. If you were going to talk about a demon, it'd be these people. Or evil. I think Mike Williams said it on one of our podcasts recently when we played a video of Alex Karp from Palantir. He said, that is evil. What you're watching there, if anybody wants to know what evil looks like, that's it.
That's right.
And that's we were doing it on email, weren't we, this week? That's the thing that people can't get in the head, the cognitive dissonance that all of these people are evil. It's a difficult one for your neighbour to get his head around.
Yeah. Let's get to that. I want to ask you about that later. But speaking of demons and satanic characters, we're here to talk about your new book. You've joined the illustrious ranks of authors, and you've finally done it. You've got it out there. Traitors, the Plandemic Politicians, 2020 to 2022. Your new book, which is a bit of a doorstop. I mean, I thought John Hamer's books were doorstops, but I think at 600 odd pages, this is the sort of book that you would stand on to reach other books high up in a library.
Yeah. I think John slightly beats me. But when I set out to write this, I had 3 ideas I wanted to put in this book, but I've had to take all the other 2 out, which were the medical experts, and the media as well, because the book would have been about 3 times the size.
Well, there's
So,
volumes 2 and 3 sorted.
Yeah, well, that's it. I mean, at the end of the book, I actually said the next part. Well, there's actually 4 volumes. It's put 4 parts to it. There's a World Economic Forum work that I did as well in 2022. So there's a book there on its own of from that. So there's going to be probably 3 books. Well, I say there is. Like you said, there's only going to be 3 of your books, and all of a sudden 3 turn into 4.
Yeah, you say that, but so is this your first book?
My first book. Virgin Territory at 56.
Never too late, eh?
No, never too late. Yeah.
How long did the whole process take? Was it a gradual step-by-step thing that was over a long period of time?
Yeah, somebody asked me that actually yesterday. The strange thing is, I suppose this is about, I'm trying to add up, it's more or less to the day that we're recording this, 5 years ago that we first appeared on Good Vibrations podcast. I bet if it was in April of 2021 that we came on your show, you asked us to come on your show. So if you look at it from there, where the Meet the Flockers series started, that's when the actual research actually begun. So the basis of this book is based on those early Meet the Flockers presentations that me and Chris did back in the dark old days of 2020/2021.
Yeah.
Remember those days, Mark?
Wonderful times. So many parties, so many good memories.
I remember seeing you. You must have watched one of the Boris Johnson ones, and I said to Chris, I think might have sent Mark over the edge with our presentation, because I think you called Boris Johnson a fat Etonian twat, were it something like that?
I think I called him a cunt, actually.
Yeah, yeah, probably, yeah. But the emotions were running high, and what I found when I going back through this, that I could feel I had to step away at times because my emotions started running high, because it hurt your head because of the amount of lies that they were gaslighting and lies that they were giving you. But 2, how did people fall for this? I mean, I'm one person writing this information down here of these individuals. This information is mainstream. It isn't like you've had to go to the British Library or something like that and find all this information out. This is all mainstream information. Where are the proper journalists? Where's Mariana Spring reporting on this stuff?
Oh, there's all these names that you forget about. I mean, where's Patrick Vallance and Chris Whitty and Zahid, whatever his bloody name was? All these people that were high profile at the time, they just seem to have fizzled out. Like, where's Hancock these days?
Van Tampon. Yeah. Van Tampon.
Yeah, Van Tampon,
yeah.
So they had their 5 minutes of fame doing their psychopathic, satanic bit, pushing the agenda forward. It's like now they've been retired off.
But what I would say, most of these people, if you look at the careers now after the event, obviously they've had the damehoods or the knighthoods and things like that post the event, either given to them with the disillusion of the Prime Minister, i.e. Boris Johnson, when he stepped down. He nominated people to be. So you've got somebody stepping down in shame, but he can nominate people to be knighted or become a dame. How does that work? I don't know, but it seems to work. Rishi Sunak nominated people as well. So when they come into power, they can nominate people, or when they go out of power, they can nominate people.
I miss Liz Truss, said no one ever.
Yeah. There's something strange going on there, wasn't there?
Prime Minister for 44 days.
Yeah. She does appear in this, in Dispatches, in the last sort of one before Tony Blair. I didn't do much on her, but yeah, she does appear. There are a few of them that didn't get the notable knighthoods and damehoods and things like that and become a baron.
Yeah, Truss is an interesting one. Do you get the impression that she wasn't playing ball with the agenda? She wasn't entirely down with the programme, so she was swiftly removed?
I think some people seem to get in by accident. I think Jeremy Corbyn got into running Labour by accident. I'm not saying he was a good guy or he was going to be a great leader, but I think he got in by default because there was no one else. And it took them years to get rid of him. They finally did with our friend Keir Starmer.
I'd preferred his brother, Corbyn.
Yeah, the Mad Professor.
That would have been interesting.
That would have been interesting, yeah. But a lot of these, I think we said it in the first podcast we did. I actually found that podcast that we did at that time on Good Vibrations, and you were asking similar questions. Not that we're repeating ourselves, but we were bemused by how these people have got into power. It seemed that way, that nobody can see what we can see. How it's like the Emperor's clothes. How can't you see that they're lying bastards? Why does my neighbour believe everything that Boris Johnson's saying? Well, or neighbours, or people around us. I don't know. It disgusted me, really, of human potential, if I dare say that.
Well, I mean, that's one question. You could take it back to those times in 21 and ask, how could people not see what was going on? But here we are 5 years on, and all these people are walking around entirely free, not being taken to task and called to justice over what they did. So there's another question. How have they managed to get away with it for this long? And so much has come out now about how unnecessary many of those measures were and all the harm that's been done by the arms spears. That's in the mainstream now. That's been reported on by mainstream newspapers and TV stations. So how is it that these people have not been, pulled up on this?
It just only goes so far. It only goes so far. The newspaper stories always seem to go down either the angle of ineptness. Boris Johnson, he weren't a great leader, and they make excuses up for him.
A bumbling oaf, yeah.
Yeah, but the state wins always, or the empire, whatever you want to call it, from Star Wars. They're always backing the empire and the narrative. They only go so far to question certain parts of it.
Yeah, true.
The vaccines still work.
It's just a bad batch, that's all.
Yeah, just a bad batch. It only killed a few people that we're letting you know about.
Yeah, Jimmy Savile, he's just a bad apple, just slipped through the net. The BBC had no idea what he was up to. Same with, Hugh Edwards and Scott Mills and Tim Westwood and Chris Denning and Alan Freeman.
What was the other one? Powell? Is
John
it Powell?
Peel
Powell? Yeah.
Stuart Hall.
Yeah, the list starts to get a bit long, doesn't it?
Rolf Harris and Gary Glitter and Snavely Travis. And...
We'll up to the other channel, Philip Schofield, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah. That's it, just several
Michael
bad
Barrymore,
apples.
where somebody floating face down in his swimming pool, that's all right, never mind.
Exactly. So what was it like having to relive those times again for you, to have to wallow in all this stuff to put this book together? Because I did that with my new novel, The Tragedy and the Triumph, which is set in 2020. So I had to transport myself back to what it was like to live through those times. And it was bad enough having to live through it once, let alone having to revisit it. So how was that? And what sort of emotions did that stir in you? Did you find yourself getting angry all over again? Did you find yourself getting a bit sad over the fact that we had to go through all this? And were there any other emotions that came through during that process for you?
All of those. Also, it was interesting to relive some of it because it was very enlightening in different areas. We were talking with Guy Anderson last night on a live podcast that we did about. I actually found it quite enlightening, that whole process. As angry as you were and as frustrated as you were, there was a part of it where you got a download of information that you'd never had before, and so I was reliving that information coming back, finding out, because I was never interested in politics. Most people in our world are not interested in politics. So the very last people I wanted to look at were these people. However, they're probably an important set of people to look at because they're the ones not necessarily in control, but actually signing off things they're like the CEO, the chief executive officers for whatever, the New World Order or whatever it is for this country. And so they're quite important people to look into the backgrounds of. So the emotions were, how do we fall for it? How can the human race be so stupid to fall for this constantly? You sent an email yesterday saying some of these people, they can't be human. Or are they human? And I did you get the email I sent back that it was basically, what is human? Are we human? What does it actually mean? Is that another load of bullshit that we've been...
And just to clarify that, I didn't mean that, or I didn't imply or mean to imply that these people are like reptilian shapeshifters or anything like that.
Yeah.
My point was, if a full holistic human involves having a full range of emotional states, such as compassion and empathy and a conscience, then clearly these individuals don't have those things. So therefore, can they be considered fully human?
Yeah. Yeah. And I was thinking maybe that is what a human is. Maybe they don't have empathy and compassion. Maybe it's us that are the odd ones out.
Well,
These
that was
are all
an
questions.
interesting take
Yeah.
on the situation. Yeah, maybe we're the odd ones out because we have those capacities, whereas seemingly the masses do not. Well, they may have compassion and empathy, but they don't seem to have the capacity for critical thought, which is another essential component.
Yes. Yeah. Well, I'd say it's probably the door opening component to everything else, isn't it? I mean, we all have different opinions on different things, and as we spoke about and had a chuckle about where we all stand in the Christians and optimists, etc., we all have different mindsets on where the world is. But when we join together, most of the core elements we all agree on. But these people could talk to you about looking after your health, and in reality, all they want to do is wipe out thousands of people. And we can't put that into words or how they think like that, because we would never think like that. So are we the ones that are actually put here to disrupt them in this Grand Theft Auto world?
Yeah. Interesting way of looking at it.
Yeah. I'm not saying it's real or true, it's just a talking point. And who says they're not lizards? I'm not saying they are either, but who's saying they're not reptilians? Or we don't really know, because everything else is a lie.
Well, this is the whole point. We don't really know anything, do we?
No. Even with all this digging, even all these words in here, we still get to a conclusion where we don't know. And I'm all right with that, because that is the world. The world is that you don't know. Like your God series, we're coming to this with a memory wipe, if that's the truth, and we don't have that recollection of history that went on before. So how on earth can we learn from our mistakes that we had if we ever lived another life? So we don't know anything really. We can just gather bits of information, can't we?
But still, always best to ask the questions in the first place.
Yes.
Questions have to be asked. And with your book, it's really important that it got out there, I feel, because future generations will now have the potential to get an alternative take from the mainstream on what life was really like in those times and the characters behind it. So it's kind of like a service to humanity that this book is now out there. And people could do with the information what they will. Many people will reject it, but there's the potential there for people to embrace this information and just see things from a different perspective. So from that point of view, I think it's a really major achievement that you got this thing out there, because there aren't too many candidates who seem to step forward to do this kind of job. There aren't too many people that would ever want to write a book of this nature. So, I take my hat off to you that you've undertaken that unenviable task.
It's not career enhancing, all this work, is it, Mark?
It's not really, is it?
No, not particularly, no. But yeah, I mean, some of these characters in here, like Tony Blair, they were difficult chapters to write. I don't know if you got to any of them, but the Tony Blair chapters and writing about the schools, they were hard to write. But it is a thread that runs through all of these, where they themselves have documented how difficult it was at their school. Now, that doesn't mean saying that everybody that went to that school experienced what they went through. It seems that a lot of these people are tagged, watched, a bit like is it Damien from Omen that Christian keeps going on about, Omen 2, where the sergeant comes up to him and says, we've been watching you all your life. It seems that way. They've got these career guides that seem to, no matter what they do, they get this get out of jail card every time.
It's like handlers in the background.
Yeah. And they can be very innocuous as well. People who you wouldn't expect. Like, I noticed that Boris Johnson had someone in and out of his life who were getting him work when he left Oxford, called Max Hastings, Sir Max Hastings, who comes from quite a esteemed family, in Scottish family. I think they're Scottish. He's an historian, writes a lot about World War II and World War One and things like that. And he was a lecturer at Oxford that got him jobs. So he got sacked from the Times, got him another job, and it's like he was in his life for a while and then it was passed on to someone else. And
So do you get the impression that the real power brokers, the real manipulators, are the ones that work from behind the shadows, and they don't really put themselves out there? So they don't have the public profiles. They don't become the household names. Their job is to pull the strings of those that they do put out front, the likes of Tony Blair and Matt Hancock. And I think that dynamic can be taken into the music world as well, particularly with DJs. We've had a lot of discussions about some of these high profile DJs. And some of them just don't appear to have earned the positions they've got on merit alone. I mean, Paul Oakenfold springs to mind. He's one of the most celebrated DJs in the world, but he can barely string a sentence together. And I don't think he's that technically accomplished. So for whatever reason, he had people behind him that pushed him out there, and they wanted him out there on the stage. And just bringing that back to politics, it seems that's the case with many of these figures that people have heard of, but they haven't heard of those that see to it that they get put there.
There are definitely people, maybe they're as compromised as the people like Boris Johnson, for instance, and they're put in a position where they've got no choice but to help them, because a lot of these people in later years, like Max Hastings, end up calling out Boris Johnson as a liar and things like that, which is fine. So for a decade or so, he's helping him get work, and then 20 years later, he's calling him out, saying he's not fit to be prime minister. So it's strange. Like they've done the job, but now they're part of a different plan that makes him look like he's inept, makes him look like he's... So the plan doesn't stop. And a lot of these characters in this book start off as Labour Party communist members and become total Tories. And the flip of that is unreal. And I counted about 3 or 4 of these people who were during COVID, like Michael Gove, for instance, Wendy Gove, who became a baron after the event. Who I think one of his famous phrases was, "If you can have the jab and you don't, what did he say now? That's irresponsible," or something like that. He said, and so he was another one that seemed to be mapped out. Anyway, I'm going off piece a little bit there, but a lot of these people seem to be helped. He was an adopted son as well, was Michael Gove. Not that means he's a bad person, but these stories aren't told in the way they're sort of window dressed when they're told in their resumes. You don't, when you scrape behind the scenes, it's a total different story, like you've done with your musical truth books. That star on stage isn't that star on stage, is it, when you dig behind their past?
Well, that was the case with Donald Trump, who switched political parties. He was a Republican, Democrat, and then he became a Republican. And just thinking about Trump, one thing that strikes me about his first term in office, because the dynamic will be the same in American politics as it is in British, because it's the same game plan, it's the same templates that they use. So during his first term in office, he was savaged by the mainstream media. He was ridiculed. He was just made to be this figure of fun. And that was the time when the Q psyop was in full effect, and a lot of people were buying that. And this idea that Donald Trump was in some way a good man that was working to bring down the deep state from the inside. So during that period, the mainstream media were just ridiculing him. Then he got in for his second term after 4 years of Biden, or whatever that thing was in the White House for that time. An actor, Struan Roger, look him up.
Struan Roger, yeah.
Yeah. He's got an IMDb entry. So then in Trump's second term, the media stopped ridiculing him and they started taking him seriously. Oh, President Trump's doing this and President Trump's doing that, which is what they were doing with Biden during his 4 years in office. They weren't ridiculing him. They weren't highlighting all the ridiculous, absurd, demented stuff he was doing. They were just letting him get away with it. And then Trump gets in for his second term, starts waging wars and starts introducing bloody AI and digital ID and stuff like that. And the media just kind of leave him alone for the most part, So that's obviously all manipulated and planned. And during that first term, when Trump was getting savaged and ridiculed, he must have been clued up on it. And they must have said, well, Donald, we're going to do this for these 4 years. You just got to sit it out, mate, because it's all part of the plan. So do you think he was down with what was being done at that time, and he understood that it was all part of a long-term plan? And do you think when people like Max Hastings turn on Blair, Blair's told, Tony, it's all part of just what needs to be done, so just accept it, mate?
I don't think they've a choice. I think they're that compromised. I don't think they've got a choice. I think they do understand part of it. They probably don't want to understand some of it. But my mind always trips back to that guy in the Heath cabinet. I forget what he's called now. I mentioned him in the book, who was part of the whip in the Tory government in the 70s, who says that we collect names in our little black book. Members of Parliament will come to me and they might be in trouble with debt, or they might have got into trouble with small boys. He mentions this on a BBC documentary, and we mark them down in the black book for when we want a favour recall back in. And if you look at Trump, about all the Epstein stuff that's come out, and whatever we want to make of that, I mean, I think it's several layers deeper than what we've ever been told is all that stuff. But then you look at who actually funds Trump, the big banks that fund him, Deutsche Bank, people like that. They're all supporters of World Economic Forum. They're all supporters of that little country in the Mediterranean that seem to be taking over want to take over all the oil fields, and homicidal maniacs that are just killing tens of thousands of people, and nobody questions it. If you look at that, nobody questions that. Who's going to question Trump? They're the people that are backing Trump. A lot of these people are the same people that are flattening Gaza.
Small hats.
Yeah, that's the insanity of it all. The same, very same, but so are the people that are funding the other side as well. So you're just going to get a slightly different impression from the red or the blue team, but it's the same plan that follows through every time. I mean, with one of the interesting parts of a couple of threads that go through this is that all of the Tory people in control, and it goes for Labour as well, were all funded, all the cabinet from 2020, 2022, as far as I could see, were either part of the Conservative Friends of Israel, there is an NGO or a charity called that, or they were funded by an NGO that was part of the Israel Pact. So how does that work? If every politician was funded by Iran, I'm sure there'd be an issue there. But it seems all right to be funded by another country as long as it's Israel.
That's right.
That is a trait that runs through all of them. And that's not, if anybody wants to call it anti-Semitic, they can, but it's not anti-Semitic. That's an actual fact.
Well, the world is insane, after all.
It is insane. It is. And going back to Boris Johnson, when you see Boris Johnson's background, his wife's background, again, going back to Dave McGowan's work that we took very seriously going back, 10, 12 years ago, which a lot of our work follows through to. We take it probably, I'm not saying ours goes to a next level, a better level, but we've taken his work and
it's all Dave McGowan's fault.
Yeah, I blame him.
I blame him.
Yeah. That have unleashed you, me, Matt Sergio, and several other people.
Mike Williams.
Mike Williams and what have you, onto this type of research. But Boris Johnson's second wife, lucky woman, Marina, who's now part of Keir Starmer's government. So that's the hop into different camps. That means it's just the same team they're working for. And her father was an intelligence officer. So just like Dave McGowan was talking about with David Crosby or someone like that, the actual politicians are exactly the same.
In all seriousness, I think Dave McGowan opened a complete can of worms with that book. And I don't think he appreciated the potency of the work that he was putting out there. It was so important because it certainly inspired me to look into the family backgrounds of these musicians, because I wouldn't have thought to look at who the fathers were and what jobs they did without his work. I took what he was writing about the 60s, Laurel Canyon scene, And I thought, well, I wonder if this dynamic runs in other genres and other timescales. And it did. You'd find the same father's professions throughout. And as you say, it's not just in music. You'll find it in Hollywood films, big business, politics, of course. You find Freemasons everywhere. You find Lord Mayors and judges and politicians and generals and lieutenant colonels and admirals and CIA spies, MI6 agents everywhere. So what he did was he offered a huge gift to us researchers, I think, and it's a fantastic legacy that he left behind. And of course, we can reflect on whether his very sudden and untimely demise might have been related to the work that he put out, because if he didn't appreciate the importance of what he was revealing, it seems other parties certainly did, and they didn't want this stuff put out there. So, Dave passed away of cancer, very aggressive, fast-acting form of turbo cancer, on the 22nd of November, 22/11, 33, go figure, in 2015. But he inspired the likes of us, I feel, to take that baton and keep running with it. And that's what you've done here with this book.
Well, the one thing he showed was that it's very easy to find this type of research if you want to put your mind to it and put the hours in to do it. People do ask me, "Oh, can you show me how to do that type of research?" And it's not that I'm being tight and saying no. It's more the fact that you've just got to do it. There's no rule to it. You've just got to do it your way. You can't really be shown how to do it. Read Dave McGowan's book, and that is the blueprint of how to do it.
Well, it's all there in the mainstream, isn't it? That's the point. All you got to do is look at the right newspaper articles, the right obituaries, the right official biographies, and then weave it all together, use the trivium process of truth discernment, weed out the discrepancies and the inconsistencies, and see what remains and see what patterns and trends start to form.
Yeah.
And then speak your truth into the world.
So there was a chap in Tony Blair's life called Knox Cunningham, an Irish baron, Sir Knox Cunningham. And he comes from a distinguished family who owned a huge tobacco company. I think part of John Players and things like that turned into British American Tobacco, huge stock market company. And he was accused of being a PDF file. But he went to Tony Blair's school before Tony Blair at Fetters. And he used to come back there. He was part of some charity that was part of the Old Boys Club that used to go back and give people like Tony Blair one-to-one business meetings. And I found this information out, and I thought, is that true? Has he ever actually spoke about that? It was in one of his biographies, and it was buried deep down in one of his biographies. But the name wouldn't say anything to you until you linked it to the Kincora Boys Home in Ireland, where MI5 and MI6 were running intelligence operations, sting operations, to trap important people within Ireland. And then it's linked to Mountbatten. They were going to his castle in Ireland. So Tony Blair is linked to several known abusers, if you like. In fact, let me read some of the headlines in the back of this book. It says that, a minute, let me find it. There were just so many headlines. Apologies for this. It's important. Satan's Little Helpers. I've done 2 chapters called Satan's Little Helpers, and one of Tony Blair's teachers. Here we go. This is a headline from the Daily Star. Pervert teacher comforted Tony Blair over poorly dad. He used to pray on his own with him. Sexual abuse, it follows the family as well. So sexual abuse at Blair's boys' school. So even his sons went to a school where there was headlines in the mainstream of sexual abuse there. Blair's, I mean, nobody will see this, but a story in the Times, Sunday Times, 1997. Blair's school mentor was sex abuser. I mean, you won't see that, but there's a full story there in the Times. That appeared in the 25th of May, 1997, right at the time that Tony Blair was being voted in as Prime Minister. I mean, was that a nudge? Right, you better follow the plan, the Bilderberg plan that you went to in 1992, or this stuff's going to come out. Just as a reminder.
Did you feel, putting this book together and delving into all this information, that there are certain characters who might have been behaving under duress during those times? So they didn't really want to be doing these roles, but they had no choice because they're born into these families. And if they deviate from the plan, they'll end up wearing concrete boots in the Thames or something, or taking a bath like these unfortunate rock stars. Because with some of the characters, like Hancock, for example, Jacinda Ardern in New Zealand, they seem to have been doing what they were doing with glee. They were doing it with a duper's delight on their face. Matt Hancock pretended to cry on TV with Piers Morgan when he's blatantly laughing. He's taking the piss. He's mocking people. He loved those times, and he must really miss them now. But do you think there were some characters who didn't really want to be doing it? I mean, I'm wondering about Chris Whitty, because Whitty didn't do it with a smile on his face. I'm wondering if he was forced into it, and if there might have been others that were.
Well, do you know, the weird thing about Boris Johnson is a good time Charlie, isn't it? And I actually think he were brought in on this crest of a wave, and he actually believed his own nonsense that he were being told. And then this thing was thrown in his lap that said, right, this is your job to handle this. Probably because they knew he was a psycho and he would just deal with it anyway. But I think he looked a bit unwitting initially until he went into that St. Thomas's Hospital, which me and Matt Sergio found out was where Dr. William Sargent was running MK Ultra operations from in the late 50s and early 60s. And he came out looking like he'd been fried. I think, is it Bill Hicks said all the presidents think they're going to do their own thing, then they get shown the real Zapruder film, you know, taken into the basement and shown
from an angle you've never seen before.
Exactly, yeah. This could be you. And so maybe that's what happened. I don't know, but he certainly changed his mind then. Everyone were an anti-vaxxer, or everyone needed to do as they're told and things like that, even though he didn't do as he's told. I think he was a little bit reluctant. I just think they had that much on him, he couldn't get out of it. I'm not saying he's a good guy, by the way.
He got voted in very soon before the COVID nonsense kicked off, didn't he? As Tory party leader, 2019, just in time for all of that to be rolled out.
He took over from Theresa May in the summer of 2019 as an unelected prime minister, and then called a election in December 2019 and was voted into power. So he was put there. I mean, it helps when your father, Stanley Johnson, worked for John D. Rockefeller for many years on population control. And again, going back through the genealogy, you can see these people are chosen. He's been brought up with, ironically, I read on his website, he had a website called, it was borisjohnson.com. And he had loads of blogs on there going back to the mid-2000s. So he used to write these blogs. And a lot of the blogs he wrote were about population control and how he got treated at school by getting shit beaten out of him and stuff like that.
We must reduce the population, said the father of 8.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, they've got no shame, these people. That's another thing. And people seem to suck it up around and then just vote for the next person. Like what was Keir Starmer? My dad's a toolmaker. Yeah, you know, I mean, it's just bollocks, isn't it? Why do they need to sell that story so hard? You either like these people or not. They have to sell this stupid working class nonsense. But in Boris Johnson's case, I mean, he was brought up in a violent household. His dad was a volatile character, beat the shit out of his mum, broke her nose. She ended up going in a lunatic asylum. He was brought up in Belgium by a nanny, a 6-foot chain-smoking nanny, apparently, who used to take baths with him. I mean, you can only feel sorry for him as children, but the school he went to was horrendous.
Well, I was going to ask, did you experience any sympathy towards any of these characters? I mean, they are repulsive and odious, but I wonder if that there's a level on which you can empathize with what they went through and what they became, because
as children,
they
you can.
didn't have very happy lives, did they, in the early days?
Not seemingly. I mean, for instance, Boris Johnson was sent back to England, I think aged about 10, to go to Ashdown House School. I don't know if you read in the book, but the school was modelled on the White House. The same guy designed the White House. So there's a lot of Masonic just in the building of the actual school, Masonic connections just in the building of the school. But he wrote about, from the age of 10 onwards, being hit with golf clubs, the jockery bats, he called them. I looked up what a jockery bat is, like a rounder's bat, the cane, on a daily basis. I mean, he never mentioned anything about any sort of sexual abuse or anything like that, but all his family went there. And his dad was working in Belgium. His mum had just been shoved in a mental institute. His dad had broken a nose, so God knows what else was going on. He'd had numerous affairs, and then at 10-year-old, he's sent away to a boarding school.
Yeah. What does that do to you as a kid?
Well, I think we saw the outcome
Brings
in
out the
2020.
inner psychopath.
Yeah, he's at one with his psychopath. Yeah. These people, when you watch them on TV, again, I was talking to a guy at my son's cricket practice the other night, and I was trying to explain to him that these people, like we've just been talking about, they're not like us. They might look like us, they might look human, but their words mean something totally different to what we would say. He knows, right? Boris Johnson knows that those arm spears killed a lot of people, and he's never once come out and said they killed a lot of people. So you know exactly what we would say. That I'd like to hope, but if I'd have been involved in something like that unknowingly, let's just say, that I would have come out and wanted to dig around and find out how many people it killed. We'd have probably had concrete slippers on as well in a dam somewhere, but you might have tried to find out. But instead they go, I think when Boris Johnson left office under a supposed cloud, he earned £5 million that year.
Yeah, they're not like us. It's like the Pink Floyd song Us and Them. It's just a shame that Pink Floyd are actually part of them and not us. But that's another matter.
Yeah, that's a total other subject, but one you've written about a lot and spoken about.
Yeah. But they would have been in a position to understand that dynamic, just like The Who, when they did their song Won't Get Fooled Again, which is about social engineering. They would know because they're a part of it.
Yeah.
But anyway, so we talked about Johnson having been shuffled into office just in time for the nonsense to kick off. And that seems to have been the case around the world. So, they got their Arderns and their Trudeaus and all these characters in place. And then Hancock, I think he took his job as health minister or whatever he was very soon before the nonsense kicked off. So it's like they were getting all their ducks in a row, all their pieces in place, ready to roll this thing out. And none of it was random. They got exactly who they wanted in those positions in time. And then they just pressed go and the COVID psyop kicked off.
Yeah.
Right on cue, spring equinox 2020.
Yeah, it was right on cue, wasn't it? Matt Hancock, again, he was one of those figures. I think he was the first Meet the Flockers one we did, going back into February 2021, I think it was. And that was my first light bulb moment that these people were just like the celebrities, even though I sort of knew that we'd read about in Dave McGowan's book that all of these people are part of this game. They're all World Economic Forum. How does every one of them become a World Economic Forum young global leader? And all of a sudden they're all in power. And it weren't just the leaders of the parties or countries. It was all of them. What did Klaus Schwab say? We've infiltrated the governments or something like that, he said, which sounded total SS Führer, whatever it is in German. Yorkshire and German don't go together. But I remember I've got a video of Matt Hancock talking about mandatory arm spears in 2019 to children at school, saying we haven't ruled out bringing mandatory for children. So he was already bought into that policy.
Matt Hancock, you, a cricket bat, and a soundproofed room. Just imagine the possibilities.
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't. I like people to hear his screams, actually. But he's another one who cries wolf, doesn't he? Like he didn't do anything wrong. I mean, going back to when he started crying with that Piers Moron, and that lady who's with him, Susanna, wherever she's called, you got to know these people as well. Them newsreaders don't watch news. You got to know these idiots as well. But he cried on that show, but he also pretended to cry in Parliament. Remember that story about his step-granddad passing away?
Yeah.
Because
you're so close to your step-granddad, aren't you?
It weren't even that close, though. It were the story is nothing like what he told in Parliament. Yeah, he stood up in Parliament telling you it's his step-granddad and they're close. Now, if he was close to that particular company that family owned won an NHS contract, funnily enough, for, I think, PPE.
Well, something's got to account for why he was chosen for that role, because let's face it, he wasn't exactly the sharpest tool in the box.
No.
He's very dim, and he obviously was not qualified for the job on skill and merit alone. So there's a reason why they wanted them in the job. I mean, I think a clue comes from the fact that he was grinning his way through the whole episode. He was absolutely loving it because he had all that perceived power. And it made him feel great. It made him feel like he'd achieved something, even though none of it was on his own personal merit.
Yeah.
So there's a reason why he was the man for the job.
And at the time, he was married into quite a prominent family, of aristocratic family. I think they've got royal links as well. So,
well, they're not plumbers, are they?
They're certainly not plumbers. I didn't find any plumbers. I mean, if you go to any place of work, when I had my business, I had people working there. None of these people were part of GCHQ or Lord Mayors or what have you. And most businesses are like that. And yet you look at Parliament and all of them people there that are representing supposedly 70 million people, all of them have got backgrounds like that, or the vast majority of them have got backgrounds like that. Or they've been part of some NGO that's nurtured them through, like as a young Conservative, for instance. Even Boris Johnson's wife, Carrie Simmons, her grandmother, Anne Simmons, was part of the intelligence community.
It goes way beyond random chance that it could just be some kind of coincidence. Like, what about all the PDF files that turn out to have been employed by the BBC? I mean, if their defense was ever going to be, oh, they just slipped through the net and we didn't know about them, why does it keep happening again and again and again and again and again? It goes, if you went into the average, I don't know, office supplies firm, thinking about, Ricky Gervais, The Office, like a paper merchant. Yeah. How many PDF files do you think you'd find in a paper merchant employing 2,000 people? One, maybe, or zero?
Or none, probably more likely.
Yeah, and yet in these institutions, they're bloody everywhere. So it's not random chance and just bad luck. And we've been talking on email over the past few days with Matt Sergiu and Trevor John about the family bloodline links between many of these celebrities and the fact that this is now getting into the mainstream. So they're choosing to run stories revealing that many of these famous people are related to each other. And it's got to be to try and devalue the work that the likes of us do, because then they can look as if it's nothing special, nothing unusual. These people just happen to be related and they're shocked and surprised to find out that this is the case. But it's not really a big story, folks, so we're just telling you either way,
It's just, like I say, they're making out it's just random. But that story from the other day that was in the Daily Fail was the first time I'd seen sort of like, there were about 10 story in the full breakdown. There were about 10 people there that were related to each other. That's the first time I've seen them done en masse. Generally, it's, the odd one, Tom Hanks is related to such and such, and then it's gone. They were en masse. So there's certainly something happening, just like your Jack Osborne story in I'm a knobhead, get me out of here.
Yeah.
where he
Making a
says, "My dad."
reference to if my dad had been a plumber and not a rock star.
Yeah, I mean, it's too close to comfort. I know Mike at Sage Quaid definitely talks about that. There is whether it's good. You said it's actually how did you put it? That it's unsettling.
Yeah, well, on one level, it's flattering because it's like we're having an impact, and we might think that we're small fry and we're flying under the radar and stuff, but our work is clearly getting noticed. So it's good to know we're having an impact, but we're not necessarily having the sort of impact that we wanted. We wanted to have an impact with the general public and the masses and get them to pay attention to these subjects. We didn't really want to have an impact with MI5 and MI6 and Tavistock and such. But it seems that they're looking at our work, and that's the unsettling element of it.
Guy Anderson had a good angle on that, Mark. He said, let's not be surprised if there are people like us working in these newspapers. One of them might be an editor, one of them might be in GCHQ for all we know, that actually think like we do. He said, the law of averages says that there has to be people like that, a sort of conspiracy double agent.
That's an interesting angle. I got an email once from somebody that worked in production on EastEnders
Okay.
at BBC One. And he said there are 3 cast members on EastEnders that are down with the way we think about things.
Right.
And they hate the agendas that they're asked to push through the show's narratives. But I can tell you that in the dressing room between takes, there's some very interesting conversations that go on. And there are 3 household names that are really, you know, aligned with the way we think. And I better not reveal who they are because this person didn't want me to. But there's probably more than we think, like you say, who are embedded in these institutions. And they hate what they have to do, but they do it just to get along or whatever. But, you know, they think in a very different way.
Yeah. And like I said, the law of averages says there has to be people like that. Like, I haven't got it in for every member of the aristocracy, because there will be people in the aristocracy who aren't down with what goes on. Not everybody will be agreeing with the New World Order plan, if you like.
Did you see the Martin Scorsese movie, The Departed, with Matt Damon and Leonardo DiCaprio? Yeah, so that's interesting because you've got a criminal gang who put one of their own into the police force. They infiltrate the police force. Meanwhile, the police put an undercover cop in the criminal gang. So each side has implanted one of their own in the opposition. So maybe that's what's going on. We know that they have shills and disinfo agents, you know, Neil Slanders and people like this that they kind of insert into our scene. But that's an interesting take. Maybe there's people that think like us who are embedded in these institutions. So it works both ways.
Yeah. How good that'd be to hear from, well, you've heard from one person. They must have been listening to you as well. So it's not just them other 3 people that are on EastEnders. It's that person as well. So there's 4 people there. At least in that area.
Yeah.
So yeah, well, it's like it's Operation Mockingbird, isn't it? If the CIA do it, when you awaken, if that's the right word anymore, when you realise that everything isn't what you think it is, there is no going back from that. I don't care if you're Neil Slanders or not. There is no going back from that because you can't see the world through the same eyes. You might step away. You might say, right, I've written enough books. I don't want to get involved anymore. But you're still going to see the world through the same eyes. You can't unsee it, can you? That's
right. Even if you wanted to return to normie land, it just can't be done.
No. Well, one thing that I found interesting going back through the earlier question, I think we ran off a little bit. Rishi Sunak, his father-in-law, is known as the Bill Gates of India.
Not a very flattering term, is it?
No. Imagine having a moniker that you're called the Bill Gates of India. And he's actually probably uglier than Bill Gates as well. So he's definitely not catwalk material. But Rishi Sunak was an interest. He was definitely parachuted in. And a lot of these people, like Blair, they're given easy seats to win. Unlike Blair and Johnson, a newspaper article read one of his school chums said all the teachers were saying he was going to be prime minister. Now I know that can be brushed off, and people could say that, but I got said that at my school or anybody. He's going to be a prime minister at some point. It's pretty direct, isn't it? That.
I'm just trying to pull up my Mark Passio jingle on Bill Gates, which is one of the highlights. One of the highlights from those terrible times of 2020, 21 was this brilliant broadcast that Mark Passio did where he just roasts Bill Gates. And let me see if I've got...
One of the great things now about these Epstein files is Bill Gates gone quiet, hasn't he?
Yeah, that's it. That's the classic.
You're a little punk, bitch, insecure, button dick little boy. That's what you are.
He does have a way with words, does Mark, doesn't he?
Well, he don't piss about, does he?
No, he certainly don't piss about. It's like he's got a Glock in his sock constantly, innit? And he's just going to pull it out.
He had to stop doing podcasts because he was getting so rageful. Whenever he would turn the mic on, he just got so lost his shit so much. He had to stop doing podcasts because his blood pressure was going through the roof and veins were popping on his neck.
I know when Crow had him on a few years ago, and he said, I've asked him just to tone it down a bit. Imagine having that conversation. You can come on, Mark, but just tone it down. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Funny thing about Mark is I've met him many times. I've stayed at his house in Philadelphia, and he's very calm and mild-mannered normally. You know, he's this very cordial, very friendly guy, a bit shy, really. But he just gets so animated. You know, he's so passionate, hence his name, Mark Passio, Matrix Coding. He just gets so passionate about the subjects he talks about that the rage just builds in him.
I think like all of us, none of us actually want the kind of notoriety, do they? I mean, it embarrasses the hell out of me. I don't really, but for some reason we're doing this type of work for all the shit we get as well on the other side. Because you probably get more crap than we do, but we get some crap, don't we? People.
Well, you do.
It's strange. I don't understand it because I always go with whatever somebody's saying. If they're aligned with what I'm saying, I don't really see the issue. How you can call people out unless they're saying something totally opposite to what you think. But then there are lines in the sand there, aren't there, where there are certain moralistic things that I can't agree with. You know, would never get agreed with, and we'd probably fall out over. But little things like the shape of the Earth, for instance, right? I can have a conversation with people about that. That's not really hurtful to me if they disagree. Now, if you agree with Tony Blair's methods, then I'm probably not going to really talk to you.
True.
You know, so there are lines out there.
Yeah, there's some things you can just let go because it's not worth them impacting on where you might be unified in other areas.
Exactly.
On the same page. We need unity in this scene. You know, we need people to come together and support each other. So you can't let small little subjects affect that dynamic. It's only the really important ones where it's worth falling out over, as you say.
And also, you've chosen the music angle. You've gone down some different stuff. For some reason, I've been pigeonholed with this genealogy and political stuff, which I'm not really political at all. I don't even vote. Never voted in my life. But that's all right, because now you can concentrate on that. And you'll get people say, can't you look into this as well? And you haven't got time, you know? You look into it.
Oh, this is what you get. People are like, oh, you should look into this band, and Dom, you should check out this guy's background. You know, you should do this, you should do a show on that. And the response is always from me, well, why don't you do it?
Yeah.
But these people say, oh, I don't know how to do research. You're the expert. You know, you've looked into these things, so you should do it. And it's like the small number of people that are taking on all these monumental tasks are just expected to do more and more and more all the time. And we need new people coming into the ranks and adding their voice to the sound of the crowd.
A bit like we did with Dave McGowan's work. You know, if you look at how many people probably ran off from just one person, we know several people that went off and did their own research into different things.
Yeah. And like you say, you weren't really into politics and stuff, and I've never really been interested in politics. But during 2020 and 21, it's like researchers such as us had to get up to speed with the world of politics. We had to get up to speed with the world of medicine and science to be able to comprehend and comment on what was going on. So it's like we did crash courses in all these subjects, you know, psychological manipulation, weaponry, social engineering, all this stuff. You had to become like a semi-expert on this stuff to be convincing when you were trying to get your points across. So we've got a lot of knowledge now that we wouldn't have done otherwise.
Yeah, and that's the benefit of what happened in 2020. The download. Don't know where the download came from, because it was like an instant download as well. It wasn't that you had to read loads of books about it. You just knew that these things were, probably because the schooling we'd had of the decade or whatever more beforehand, that we'd realised it were nonsense anyway. We were in I won't say fortunate position. We were in a fortunate position that we were already down that road a long way, weren't we?
That's
so.
Right. Yeah.
I would have hated to have been a 2019 normie and then smashed around the head in 2020 and realised that the rug was being pulled from under me.
A lot of people did seem to undergo a crash course download in 2020. They had a very rude awakening. I've been contacted by so many people that woke up to truth and started paying attention to things as a result of the nonsense. Who, if the nonsense hadn't happened, might still be slumbering away and walking around in a mind-controlled trance. So there's another plus, I guess, the number of people that it brought over to our side.
And going back to the people on the inside, let's just say, the EastEnders guys who work within government, they would have known that. They would have known that in a revolution, which was what it was, what they were trying to do, they were attempting to jab everybody, that there were going to be the French resistance that woke up and realised that we have to fight back or we have to do something about it, and that were only going to be a small. So maybe that it was more about that than the other side, or just as much about that, waking people up. Because 9/11 did the same thing, didn't it?
That's right. So in your book, it's about 600 odd pages, and it looks like half of them seem to be made up of the citations and the resources. They just go on forever. And with a book of this nature, you have to show where you've got your information from. It's the same with my musical truth books, because otherwise people will accuse you of making it up. You've just put those words into that guy's mouth, and there's no way this document exists. You have to demonstrate where you got the information from. It's a very important part of this nature of research, and it's very time consuming. It's very laborious, but it has to be done, right?
Has to be done. We actually shrunk the font down, because there's 100 pages of source notes, I think, or thereabouts. There was going to be 180 at the same size font, so that was just ridiculous, having 80 extra pages of the source notes. So yeah, there's 100 pages, literally. Some of them have got 100 source notes, some of the chapters. So, because what I wanted to, I mean, I know you're down the same road, but what I wanted to prove was that this stuff is available in very easy form, and I made sure a lot of the source notes, the majority of them, were just from Wikipedia pages. And the reason I wanted to show that is ultra mainstream. But it's not that all the truth is on their Wikipedia page. Then you have to go to another story to back it up, as you know, or another book, or read this book. So it's very laborious, as you say, to make sure the facts are right. But these are what are being reported on these individuals. I found a good headline about Michael Gove, who I find an interesting character. As there's a picture of him in jc.com, which is the Jewish Chronicle, and he's pictured with Lord Janner. So Lord Janner was part of the Lord Janner was part of the Labour Friends of Israel, and Gove is part of the Conservative Friends of Israel. Lord Janner, as we know, was accused before his death of being a PDF.
And Lord? Never.
There he is smiling with. So he must know that. Gove must know what Janner was accused of, whether he knew then in that picture or not. But you know, Michael Gove as well tried his hand at being a comedian with David Baddiel in the early 90s. I've got videos of him on Channel 4 trying to launch a comedy career.
When he's about as funny as an earthquake.
Exactly. And he was as funny as an earthquake in these shows. He was like the straight man, but he was like a bad Sid Little. I mean, David Baddiel, I struggle with him, but them two together, I mean, can you imagine funding a program like watching paint dry?
Glad I missed that one.
Yeah, I'm glad I missed that. But that's another thing. A lot of these people, we notice in the celebrities, like say the stuff we found with Jim Morrison being in an early advert and Brad Pitt and all these people, they are shoved out. I think the famous one was Frank Zappa that you found with playing a bike wheel or something like that.
Yeah, on a TV chat show.
So a lot of these politicians, the same thing applies to them. They get jobs a lot of them become journalists initially, straight out of Oxford, Cambridge, straight into journalism, or they try their hand at TV, hosting a TV show, or becoming a musician or a comedian. A lot of them are comedians. I find it struggle. Boris Johnson was a prime example. I think I referenced you calling him a lifetime actor. It's quite obvious that he was a lifetime actor in there.
Yeah. Hosting Have I Got News for You and all this.
He was nominated for a BAFTA for hosting Have I Got News for You. I mean, how can you take these people seriously?
Right.
People do, don't they?
Yeah. I know, right? So, did you inject some characteristic sheep farm humor into the book? I've not had a chance to go through it yet, but
yeah. I tried as much as I could
cracked a few gags.
Yeah, just to take the edge off the dark nature of some of the information. You have to, like with Matt Hancock, even just Matt Hancock's name, I had to put a W in brackets at the front of it. You know,
only right.
Sanjay Javid's was I had to call him Savage Jabed all the way through. Ming the Merciless, Zahawa. Yeah, Van Tam. Well, Van Tampon's not actually in here. That we were talking earlier that it were a bit of a mind cluster fuck, if you like. I was thinking, how am I going to get the politicians, the medical experts, and the media in one book? And it was John Hamer that said, you just need to do the politicians because there were 180,000 words just in the politicians. So if I tried jamming, there'd been about 1,500 pages. So probably the next book will be the medical experts. I've got a lot of stuff on Chris Whitty and Van Tampon and already written. So that should be the next, and Valance as well. I know Mike Yeadon's got a lot to say on Valance because he went to, I might have got this wrong, but I think Mike said on a podcast we did, he was at the same university and they couldn't understand why Valance seemed to be fast-tracked through because he wasn't that good. And he ended up
old Fat Boy Slim down there at Reigate School with Queer Stalin.
Yeah.
And Fat Boy Slim said there was a time where it looked as if Queer Stalin was going to go for a career in music because they were learning cello together.
Imagine that.
And you know, Norman Cook's thinking, oh, I might go into politics. And then their careers just got switched.
And that's another thing you find when you're going back into these people's backgrounds, that they were going to be something totally. It was said that Tony Blair was going to be a religious leader. He was going to go into the church.
Well, he'd fit right in there, wouldn't he?
It bloody would. He failed as a lawyer. He wouldn't have passed the bar. And Tony Blair's were the hardest ones, I'd say, to complete because there was a lot of I came out of that feeling sorry for the child there, going back to what we were talking about earlier with Tony Blair. That was dark. There comes a point
where I suppose it's difficult to feel compassion towards.
Oh, not now. I don't feel anything.
You see the great harm and the damage that they're doing to other people.
Yes,
who don't deserve. What happens to them?
No. And
there's only so many excuses you can make for what sort of childhood they came out of.
Well, once you've written that, you feel sorry for that part, but the rest of it is inexcusable.
Yeah, totally.
But the amount of weirdos that surrounded him, though, Mark, was off the charts. I mean, I think that there was one teacher at his first school I mentioned there. Then there were three teachers, and at that Knox Cunningham, there were 5, and it carried on into his adult life when he was made into a Roman Catholic. When I forget what do they say when they bless him into being a Roman Catholic?
Communion.
This guy. Hold on a minute, let me find it. Archbishop Murphy O'Connor. That's it. He was at the centre of. I'm trying to think what they call it now when they ordain him into become a Catholic. Anyway, that's probably the right word that gets ordained. But he was at the centre of several cover-ups in the Roman Catholic Church. I mean, one guy got sent down for about 10 years. That's how bad it was. And this guy's ordaining him. Tony Blair never mentions anything about it. And I mean, we've spoke about this before. One of the overriding things of all these people are not one of them in power. You would have thought that becoming prime minister, or even a journalist, or mayor of London, or an MP, even, that they would speak out about this abuse at the schools that they were at. Even if they weren't abused, maybe their friends were. I mean, Blair and Johnson were definitely abused physically, as in being hit, because it's documented that they both hated the time at school. One of the teachers at Blair's school used to get 10, I'm not saying Blair was part of this, but 10 kids in a line, or a load of kids, take them up to his office, get them to drop the trousers, whack them, and masturbate.
You do get a few music stars that speak about having been abused in their childhood. One that springs to mind is Terry Hall of the Special AKA. So towards the end of his life, he revealed that he'd been sexually abused by a teacher on a school trip to France.
Right.
And then shortly after that, Terry Hall just happens to die, like you do.
Another coincidence, as Lance would say.
Yeah. So that seems to be an example of what can happen to you if you do speak out about this stuff.
Yeah. I mean, that happens so much, that can't be a coincidence either. Because it seems to be another thread that runs through all these stories. If you speak out, your life gets destroyed.
Dolores O'Riordan is another one of the Cranberries. She spoke of having suffered sexual abuse at the hands of the Catholic Church when she was young. And then she took a bath and never came out the bathroom.
It can't be the church, though, because the church is all for good. Right, well, peace and light. And
see my God Talks channel for further reference on that one.
Yeah.
That's a conversation for another day.
Yes,
so
it is.
You've finished this book now. You've come out of the bunker there like a mole blinking in the sunlight, back out into the open. So what's next? The next book, I suppose, volume 2. Yeah,
probably volume 2 of this. I mean, I have got material for several books, to be honest with you, as you know. But I think I need to get these over and done with. So I'll probably finish off the medical and media. That'll be part 2. World Economic Forum, part 3. Maybe, or I might finish on 2. But the World Economic Forum, but there's several other stuff as well. I'd like to do some of the genealogy stuff that I've done into a book at some point.
Well, there's the next 5 years of your life mapped out.
I know. I think that'd be a good book. The genealogy links to these famous stars.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's definitely a book in that.
Yeah. And I reckon that might be some kind of collab. Maybe we're talking already about doing, because of my information and some, like you say, your information would link to some of these famous stars.
Yeah, for sure. In which regard, we've got a couple of events coming up where I'm going to be joining you at Pennine Manor again in Huddersfield. Saturday, 16th of May. We've done a few of these. So we got that one. There's one in July as well.
Yes.
John Hamer's involved in the May one. Is it?
Yeah, he's involved in both of them. Both of them.
Both of them. Okay.
The difference in the July one is we're probably going to do a meet and greet on the Friday night as well. So a lot of people seem to make a weekend of it and stay over at the Pennine Manor or a local hotel or whatever, B&B or Airbnb that they book. And I thought, well, if there's, I don't know, a few people, might be only 20, 30 people or 50 people there on a Friday night, we'll just have a bit of a meet and greet for a couple of hours. There's a bar upstairs, so
That's Chris sorted.
that's Chris sorted. He'll be under the bar. And also, we've got penciled in sometime in October for, I won't release a date yet because we've not really released that just yet, in London again. That was an exciting one, wasn't
Yeah,
it?
the comedy club.
Yeah, that was different. That was different.
It was a really enjoyable day.
Yeah, it was. Yeah,
Yeah,
get a good crowd in, don't we? Good people.
Yeah,
You can just have a
pack the
chat.
place out.
Yeah, it's you know that one of the enlightening things about all this is meeting like-minded people, where you sort of take it for granted now because you're not around anybody you've got to convince anymore. Your whole life is, say I'm talking to someone like yourself, or you're talking to me, or when you even go out and about, or you do a talk, that all the people that are in the room are on the same wavelength.
It's like speakeasies. You can just say
Yeah.
whatever you think, whatever's on your mind. Don't have to
Yeah.
worry about upsetting people or them getting angry or
Nobody
whatever.
judges you.
Yeah.
It's. I remember when we first did the one up at Pennine Manor, the manager said, "Oh, the staff came up and said, oh, they were all right, them people, weren't they? I don't know what they thought. If they were going to all be three-eyed monsters or."
Well, it was a different story with one of Gloria Moss's early conferences.
Right.
So we did an event in, I think it was 2021, at a Christian retreat. Go figure.
Yeah.
And there were various serving staff who, while the speakers were delivering their talks, were bringing tea and coffee in and whatever, and they were catching little snippets of the talks. And apparently they'd gone back to their management and said, oh, I heard some stuff in there which made me feel really awkward, and they're talking about this and that. And then Gloria was politely invited to leave and not darken their doorstep again. So
that was during the talk. So she
During-
had to cut it all short.
no, this was after the event.
Right. Okay.
But the point is, it was a Christian retreat,
Yeah.
Christian
The forgiving,
center.
accepting everybody,
Right.
religion. Yeah.
Yeah, compassion for others and wanting to help others. And she got kicked out. Yeah, so
Maybe the no Cardinal McCormick Murphy or whatever he was called.
Was
Blair's the guy who inducted Blair into Roman Catholicism.
right.
Maybe there's a few of them in that church.
Yeah,
or that
well,
group.
who knows? So where can people get hold of your book and also get tickets for these events that we're doing?
Right. The one in July, the tickets I think are going to be released either this week or next week. So that's sheepfarm.co.uk. We can
Is
or
May
email
sold out?
May sold out. They go pretty quick. We've already had. I think what happens is we, and you know this because you're involved, but we release the dates to people and people email in, and then we work out whether it's a goer. If everybody books, we might be doing another day. So there might, because the July event's meant to be a spillover from May, but it's turning into that July's has got a spillover as well. So there might be another one possibly. So yeah, if you want emailing on the first batch of tickets, info@sheepfarm.co.uk,